Hey, welcome to What If Naruto Had Sunshine, a series where I ask the question, what if Naruto Uzumaki was imbued with the power of sunshine? The power that Escanor, the sin of pride, held inside of himself. From the series known as the Seven Deadly Sins. If you guys like this and want more Seven Deadly Sins videos, you should make sure to check out my What If Asta is Meliodas' son. Now, enough of this intro, make sure to enjoy the full compilation of all the parts, which you can find in the description if you want to watch it in more digestible pieces. Please consider hitting the like and subscribe button if you enjoy this. Now, on with the show.
So, to explain what the abilities of Sunshine are, is basically, it's from this anime called The Seven Deadly Sins, and it's from a character called Escanor. Basically, Naruto in this world would have the ability to control sunlight, which is the ability to store like heat as well as just the energy from the sun in a certain spot on him in general and release that. It also gives him a weird transformation thing he has where during the daytime Naruto's body looks a lot more muscular and he's just stronger in general. However, at nighttime he reverts back to what his normal form would be, and he doesn't have any of his power access unless he accesses the stored energy he has saved. So that's the premises of this what if. The way I'm going to set this up is I'm going to have the Namikaze clan have a rare Kage similar to the Senju clan and how they have the rare Kage of being able to access wood style. Only one person in history of the Namikaze clan has been able to access this power. I'm going to say that Naruto is going to have access to Sunshine, which is the Kage of the Namikaze clan in this one. So I hope you guys are excited, and let's just get right into the basics. When Naruto is born, he has a golden shining ray around him, and as the Kyuubi is sealed inside of him, it's gifted him even more power. As his parents die, the third Hokage would pick up Naruto and realize that he's extremely warm for a child. In fact, when the daytime would come as he was a baby, his body would grow to appear as if he was a toddler, and that night he would go back to his normal form. Now, Naruto would grow up as a child, knowing that he has this strange ability to grow in strength during the day and lose strength during the night. In order to maintain his normal form of his childhood during the daytime, Naruto would store all the sunshine energy he absorbs during the day inside of the spot on his belly where that seal is for the Nine Tails. Naruto would unknowingly be strengthening the seal even more of his sunshine energy, giving the Kyuubi no chances to escape, as well as making Naruto's chakra control much easier. Naruto would have a ungodly amount of chakra as a child. His power would be extreme. However, Naruto would display, strangely enough, no signs of having any specific kind of nature release. Instead, he would seem to only have some sort of fire release. Naruto can use jutsu just like everyone else, and his chakra pool is abundant, very high in fact, due to him being an Uzumaki and a Namikaze, both clans having Kage meant for sealing as well as having high chakra pools. Naruto would still be treated terribly as a child, and they would call him a monster and some weird kind of creature of abnormality. Naruto would be also disgusted and terrified of himself even, and he would be very self-conscious of himself. That's why he created the technique in order to store sunshine energy so he would look like a normal person every day. Naruto would also be very curious about the other people in the village, and he would eventually meet Ichiraku Ramen and would eat ramen there every day when he could. Mr. Ichiraku was always nice to Naruto and said that he could always come by there if he needed something. Naruto, as he grew up, would eventually be walking through the forest when he would see some bullies bullying Hinata. And just like in the original, Naruto would rush over, and using his sunshine, he would burn them and put his hands in them and make them feel heat. As he'd start burning their skin, they'd run off as he was beginning to get very warm. Naruto would be breathing heavily as he then pulls back his sunshine into himself as the bullies run off with second-degree burns on their skin. Hinata thanks him as he holds his hand down and she grabs it and she picks her up. His hand is warm and he feels like a nice, hot, sunny day. Hinata and Naruto walk back in the forest, and even though there's snow, Naruto, as he walks, begins to melt it by his own natural body heat. When he drops Hinata off at home, Hinata begins to start having that crush on Naruto. As Naruto then heads out as he begins to go back to his house, He would then eventually, as the years passed, be accepted into the academy. As an academy student, Naruto would be pretty much the same in personality-wise. Naruto, even though he'd be powerful, would still play pranks on the villagers. It'd be much easier for him to get up to high places, though, as well as for him to play pranks on people in general. Naruto would be extremely strong, but he would still be at the bottom of his class. And so, the day would come when it came time for Naruto to take the graduation exam. As Naruto takes his graduation exam, he passes the first time, and because of this, he doesn't learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And so, Naruto the next day would show up, and his team would be assigned as... So, Naruto passed the exam, to become a ninja, and overall, he's just a lot better in this timeline and stronger. He currently has a spot that he is storing sunlight right on his seal, where Kurama is, which is strengthening the seal as well. He has a sun-shaped, tattoo there now, what it looks to be like. It grows the more sunlight he puts into it. And now Naruto is going to be placed on his team in this episode, as well as probably be taking some sort of test, and we might get into some further arcs, but let's just get right into the story. As Naruto is walking into the classroom for the first time since the day that he became an official genin, Naruto is excited. As he walks in, his form is buff, and he has a different set of clothes on made for as custom for when he's in during the daytime. As Naruto walks in and has to bend over in order to walk through the door, he quietly sits down leaning against the wall as none of the chairs would fit for him, as he waits to see what team he's placed on. While he's sitting there, a lot of the girls are whispering and saying how much of a freak he looks. Naruto's used to this, though, and we have a small flashback to when Naruto was a child. Naruto was always made fun of for his physical deformity or his physical changes of looking like an adult man even though he was a child. And his growth into being the one was horrifying to him, especially as most people in the village made fun of him as well as called him a demon. He never got to play with any of the other children because they were afraid of him, as well as the fact that everyone considered him to be some sort of monster. Naruto was alone a lot, and this made him pretty sad. The third Hokage wasn't afraid of Naruto, and so in this timeline, Naruto is a lot closer to the third Hokage. As Naruto is sitting there reminiscing about his past, suddenly the teams are announced. The teams all go on as normal, and as Naruto is announced for Team 7 will be Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. And anyway, Naruto is kind of excited to be on the same team as Sasuke, especially because Naruto in his current state is much more prideful than he would be in his normal childish form. And so Naruto walks up to Sasuke and bends down and says, "So, Sasuke Uchiha, you have the privilege of being on my team. Wouldn't you say? That's quite the honor." Sasuke just looks away, and it feels a cold sweat turning warmer every second as he just looks away from the giant hulking mass of muscles. Naruto scoffs and sits down looking annoyed, as they're the last team to come in. Naruto says that it's not wise to keep him waiting. At that point, Kakashi comes walking into the room, and Naruto, who didn't play a prank, looks up and stands up, taller than the Jonin. Kakashi looks upwards for a second, and then is surprised as he sees this giant. Now, Kakashi then says that we're gonna go up to the rooftop and see what's going on, as well as just to see what your hopes, dreams, aspirations are. So let's head up there. Kakashi, as well as the rest of the team, head up to the top. And now as the whole team is sitting up there waiting, Naruto sits down, looking pretty much pessimistic, as well as just bored. Now Kakashi walks over to the team, and then says what are your likes and dislikes? Sasuke starts off first. Well, I don't really have any likes or dislikes, just merely a goal or an aspiration, you could say. I need to kill a certain someone because I'm an Avenger. At that point, Kakashi would look over and nod, looking to Sakura as he lowers his eyes and asks Sakura what her aspirations, goals, and dreams are. She just looks at Sasuke for a solid minute, staring at him, looks back to Kakashi and starts blushing and laughing and giggling. Kakashi sighs and thinks about what a waste of space. I mean, what an interesting and unique dream that is. He then looks over to Naruto, who just is staring at him, and asks what his goals, aspirations, and at that point, Naruto interrupts him and says, "You see, I don't need a goal, for I am the greatest. I am prideful, and I am the strongest there is. So I would say the only goal of mine is to become the Hokage. And my likes, well, I like to eat ramen, almost daily in fact, and I like to sit under the glorious sun as I gaze upon my own form." As Naruto says this in a confident smile, hiding the false undertones of insecurity that he has deep inside of himself, Kakashi sighs and says that's pretty shallow, as he then says that with that kind of attitude he might never become the Hokage. Naruto has a flame ignite in his eyes, and he says he'll challenge Kakashi to a fight and see who's stronger. Kakashi holds his hands up and says, "Wait a second," as he then says that the next tomorrow everyone should come over to the forest training grounds to begin their real test to see if they can become ninja or not. He says to not eat breakfast, and the three of them go home for the night. As Naruto has nightfall come, he shrinks back to his normal form, and as he opens his eyes, he realizes what he said to Kakashi, that Jonin. He starts sweating as he then thinks that it'll be all good, and that was probably pretty stupid of him. He lays down and thinks about his team, and that he has to be out with Sasuke Uchiha. That kid always is liked by everyone and is always somehow better than him at everything. He kind of grunts a little as he then lays on his bed as he goes to sleep. Naruto, at this point, wakes up in the morning, and as he gets up, he puts his clothes back on and heads over to the training grounds, skipping breakfast just as Kakashi had said to. As the team arrives, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto are waiting for quite a long time before Kakashi shows up, saying he was lost on the path of life. At that point, Naruto then would be a little bit annoyed by having to wait for so long, and so Kakashi, as he shows up arriving on a little bit late on time, then tells the team the challenge that they have. So, Team 7, or if you can pass this test, you'll be Team 7. Your mission for the first mission is to get these bells from me. Kakashi holds 2 bells up and then explains about the bell test. If you fail to get these 2 bells from me before lunchtime, then the one who lacks the most will be not eating lunch with us. As well as if you can't achieve getting these bells, you will be sent back to the academy permanently. Naruto stands up as he's about ready to get into the fight. Now Sasuke and Sakura both dive into the forest immediately as Kakashi says go. Naruto, as he tries to dive in, Kakashi attempts to use the 1,000 Years of Death. Immediately, Naruto covers his entire body with flames as he heats his whole body temperature up. As Kakashi is about to stick his fingers into the depths of the sun, he then feels his hand start to melt as he pulls his hand back, sticking his fingers in his mouth after being almost like touching a hot stove. Naruto laughs as he holds his hands to his side, and then wags his finger, telling Kakashi he'll have to do better than that. Suddenly, Naruto goes bursting. With a burst of heat and flame, he appears right next to Kakashi, and then he says, "Cruel sun," as he then makes a miniature cruel sun on his finger and flicks at Kakashi. Kakashi gets hit by this miniature bullet of burning, and a hole appears in his Jonin / Chunin vest from the leaf. He goes flying back into a tree as he gets hit. He immediately puts his book down and realizes that this child is a greater threat than he might imagine. He decides that he'll have to play this person's pride as well as his weakness of mind to beat him, as he's far too strong for Kakashi to handle right now. And to his surprise, Naruto appears right next to him and says that's not going to work either. Immediately, Sasuke comes out of nowhere, breathing a fireball jutsu directly on top of both Naruto and Kakashi. Naruto stands up like that was nothing, as the heat has no effect on him. He then takes his normal hand and slaps Kakashi in the back, sending him flying across the field. Kakashi quickly forms jutsu and decides that since this Genin's main attack type is flame jutsu, he have to combat that with earth-style jutsu. He quickly forms the hand seals for an earth mud wall and covers the entire ground with mud, as he then uses this to form walls to try and block Naruto's path. Immediately, Naruto begins to cook the actual mud itself. As Kakashi sees the mud he had to lay out, begins to cook itself into clay. Sakura is just watching from the sidelines, doing nothing, as Naruto and Sasuke try and get on the fight. Sasuke throws kunai as well as shuriken towards Kakashi, trying to throw him off balance, when Naruto comes out of nowhere with a larger, cruel sun in the palm of his hand, as he spins and throws it, chucking it like a baseball at Kakashi. Kakashi quickly uses substitution jutsu, as the wood block that appears right before he teleports away is then burst into flames as it is dispersed into ash. Kakashi sweats bullets as he then decides that he's going to have to come up with a plan for this kid. As he begins rushing into the forest, Naruto as well as Sasuke begin to hunt Kakashi down. Naruto says he has this himself and that Sasuke should go mind his own business like Sakura. Sasuke grits his teeth and tells Naruto he can't do everything on his own, you know. Naruto then rushes forward as he continues running into the woods. Naruto punches his hand through trees and rips apart the forest as he looks for Kakashi. He quickly puts his hand out and begins to burn parts of the forest so as to smoke Kakashi out, using a smoke screen as well. Now Kakashi creates 3 shadow clones. Using these 3 shadow clones, they then head out to try and find Sakura and Sasuke. These shadow clones can actually fight with Sasuke and Sakura rather easily, while the last shadow clone is keeping a hard pace against Naruto. Naruto quickly uses a flash of light as he quickly forms hand seals to form a jutsu. As Naruto charges chakra into his hands, he quickly forms a fireball jutsu as he bursts it out and breathes into his hands, causing it to flow out and hit the ninja and causing it to burst into flames. Suddenly, Kakashi appears behind Naruto, and Naruto quickly turns around and snaps one of the bells from Kakashi's leg. At that point, he then rushes off as Kakashi tries to reclaim the bell. Kakashi grits his teeth and says that this kid he should have used his Sharingan at the beginning. Kakashi is considering using a Sharingan, but decides he'll have to let it go. Impressed at the speed as well as the quick neck pace that Naruto had sensed him and turned around to grab it and escape. Now Sasuke and Sakura were left, and at that point, Sasuke now has to try and claim the last bell. As Kakashi walks into the forest, Naruto calmly sits down eating his lunch as he looks off into the distance as he sees the sun rising. Sasuke and Sakura, back to them we get, as Sakura is put under a genjutsu. Sasuke takes the actual attention of this as he grabs the bell from Kakashi, as Kakashi then kicks him away before he can. At that point, all of them are sent back and Sasuke eats his lunch with Naruto while Sakura is tied to the tree crying. Kakashi goes into the forest telling them not to share their food with Sakura. Naruto, who doesn't fear Kakashi and is also quite fond of Sakura personally, as he thinks as she's still his crush in this timeline. Naruto offers to share his food with Sakura as he has a smile on his face with his eyes closed. Sakura swallows her pride as she decides that Naruto might not be so bad after all, as she accepts food from both Sasuke and Naruto. Immediately, Kakashi comes rushing out, saying that all of them broke the rules, except for including Naruto, who even had his bell. Naruto holds his bell up and then tosses it back to Kakashi, as Kakashi says that the team passed. The new Team 7 is proud of themselves as Naruto stands up, laughing a deep laugh into the sky. As Naruto and his Team 7 had completely decimated Kakashi and actually won the bell test, Kakashi was impressed with him. He told the 3rd Hokage that this kid was amazingly strong. So strong, in fact, that it just didn't seem possible. Naruto is then taken on the D-rank missions throughout the month as we get back into the story. We see Naruto flying on a large, cruel sun as he uses his chakra to manipulate it so he can fly over the forest. As Naruto uses his sunlight, he flies down into the forest, not too close so the trees don't burn, and he sees the dark shape moving through it. Naruto jumps off as he deactivates the cruel sun, and with his body at full strength, he completely tackles this small black cat, who is now knocked out as Naruto holds it in his arm, petting it slowly. At that point, the cat, who is thinking in its mind, decides that it's going to try and escape again. As Naruto looks down with his judgmental eyes, he then says, "Who decided that?" as he grabs the cat by the scruff and hauls it back to Kakashi and the rest of the team, telling them it was a success as he holds a thumbs up. Kakashi gives him another thumbs up in turn as they all begin to head towards the 3rd Hokage's office. As they're walking towards the office, Sakura and Sasuke too are noticing that everyone in the village who they're walking by is giving Naruto the evil eye, looking at him and taking their children and rushing indoors quickly. As Naruto continues to walk ahead as if nothing's happening, Sakura feels bad for making fun of him all those times before, as she thinks about how Naruto must have felt. She only does that for a second though. She then goes back to thinking about Sasuke. As Sasuke is then walking alongside Naruto, thinking about how this was exactly how he had been treated when the Uchiha had first died, Sasuke sighs as he then walks up closer to Naruto and Kakashi, Sakura rushing up to catch up with the team. As they head over to the third Hokage's office and climb up the stairs, Naruto, who is, as we know in this time, is extremely prideful, is finally fed up and he can only take so much. He then walks over to the third Hokage and looks down at him, his eyes with flames filling them, and he says that he needs a more difficult mission to test his strength and test his limits. The third Hokage, looking at this literal man of meat and musculature, is standing above him, agrees, and then decides that he'll give him one grade higher mission, as he brings Tazuna into the room for the mission to defend the bridge builder. Naruto is very pleased with this mission as he sees this man walk in. Immediately, the scent of liquor hits the room as it wafts into Naruto's nose. Naruto walks back to Kakashi and Sasuke as he stands there. As Tazuna opens his eyes, he hiccups and then says that these two brats and these two adults are going to be guarding him. He then looks at the two kids, Sasuke and Sakura, annoyingly, and looks up to see Naruto and Kakashi there standing there. He tells Naruto to put his shirt on as Naruto's abs are exposed. Naruto looks at him and then looks back to third Hokage, Hiruzen, and asks if he's serious. Hiruzen nods and Naruto sighs as he puts his hands across his chest and nods, telling him that they should leave immediately. Kakashi grabs him by the back of the collar as he goes on his tippy toes to reach, and then pulls Naruto back slowly as he tells him that they're leaving tomorrow. Naruto huffs a bit as he then leaves the office, heading back to his house to relax. As Naruto goes back into his house and closes the door, he lays on his bed with his legs hanging off the end. Kakashi, Sakura, as well as Sasuke go back to their respective places. Tazuna is now waiting for the next day. As immediately at the crack of dawn, as soon as the sun rises, Naruto gets up as his body is at its most normal human-like form. Naruto gets out of bed and puts on his oversized clothes as he walks out into the morning light. At this point, Naruto feels his body grow slightly as he walks along, making it to the front gate where Tazuna sees him and Kakashi and asks if he was a bit taller yesterday. Naruto laughs it off and tells him that he must have been seeing things. After all, he had been drinking. Naruto laughs as they then leave out of the Leaf Village. As Naruto walks out the gates, he turns back and sees the village as the doors close behind him, and thinks that this will be his first journey. Immediately, about 30 minutes later, I would say, after they've departed from Konoha, Naruto is walking along when suddenly a kunai is piercing out of his left abdomen. Naruto looks down to see one of the Chunin staring at him, as Naruto then quickly flexes as all of the muscles push the kunai out with almost no damage at all. Naruto quickly moves his hand forward as he takes a heat wave and bursts it out of his hand, causing a large heat wave to instantly knock out the two Chunin. Kakashi's impressed and Sasuke as well, as Naruto's healing factor is incredible. Naruto felt nothing from that, and the kunai had basically gone directly into his gut. Naruto opened up as he turned upward to Kakashi and asked if there was any wounds, and Kakashi said there was nothing. Naruto continues walking on as they leave the Chunin behind. After a while, Kakashi begins to think that Tazuna might be hiding something for having such high-level ninja beat coming after him. Tazuna tells him he should just do his job and protect him. Suddenly, a sword comes flying overhead, chopping itself into the tree that Naruto was just about to walk past. As the sword comes flying overhead, everyone in the party ducks except Naruto. As Naruto turns, he sees the sword about to fly at him, and as it does so, his eyes fill with flames as the sword melts directly in half to move out of his path, as the chopped bits go flying into the tree, causing chunks to appear with a gap in the middle. At this point, Zabuza is kind of pissed as he appears on the other half of the sword, saying that that guy should be dead. And immediately Naruto looks up with his hands crossed and looks at Zabuza. He then says, "Who decided that?" As Naruto gets a little bit more serious, telling that this guy's pretty strong. What seemed to be instantly, Zabuza appears with his sword as the executioner's blade, rubbing some of his own blood on it, begins to mend itself as it heals back to its original form. Naruto's eyes widen as he sees that this blade is much more interesting than he had thought. As Naruto continues to walk forward towards Zabuza, he then tells Zabuza that he'll take him on. As Kakashi, who is still holding back, tells Naruto to get down, and that's the demon Zabuza from the Mist Village. Naruto turns back to Kakashi with the sight of pity on his face. He says that those who claim to be strong must confront me in order to prove it. Immediately, Zabuza tells him that he's a cocky bastard as he tries to stab the executioner's blade directly into Naruto. Naruto holds his hand up and catches the blade, holding it beneath him as Zabuza struggles to move it. As Naruto sees the sun slowly rising into the day, he then tells Zabuza if he continues to fight him, then he really has a treat in mind. As he then grabs Zabuza and throws him across the lake, as his body goes splashing like a rock across it. Kakashi is amazed at this as Naruto goes into the battle, flying on his own cruel sun. Naruto then pushes his fist back as he charges sunlight energy into it. He then punches Zabuza, who goes flying deep into the bottom of the lake. Zabuza quickly forms water clones to go and attack the others, and Kakashi deals with them rather quickly as he watches this battle. You hear Kakashi's inner thoughts as he says, "I knew this kid was strong, but I didn't know he was Jonin level already. Impressive." Immediately, Naruto is blocking, dodging, kicking, as well as melting most of the attacks that Zabuza is throwing at him. Suddenly, Zabuza, who's getting really ticked off at this point, says he'll use his ultimate technique. He then tries to capture Naruto in a water prison. As he uses the water prison jutsu on Naruto, Naruto laughs, the biggest laugh that any of them had ever heard, its boisterous voice moving throughout the entire forest. As Naruto inside of the water bubble says that he thinks that this something like water, which can boil, can contain him. Naruto immediately begins to take all of the sunshine energy in his back as he charges it through his entire body, as well as absorbing it from the sun above. Naruto quickly uses his sunlight energy and overpowers the water prison jutsu, causing the bubble to actually burst from the heat pressure, as Naruto makes the water boiling hot, to the point where if Zabuza had kept his hand in the water prison, then he would have lost it, and it probably would have been melted. Naruto stands out of the hot water as if though nothing had touched him, as he wipes his shoulder off with his clothes still smoldering. He looks to Zabuza, who asks who the hell he is, as Naruto then tells him that his name is Naruto Uzumaki. And he then suddenly appears next to Zabuza and clotheslines him. Zabuza goes back, gagging as he quickly tries to activate the Water Dragon Jutsu, shooting it directly towards Naruto. Naruto holds his hand out and says, "Cruel sun," as the cruel sun goes shooting out of his right hand, blasting into the Water Dragon and vaporizing it. At that point, the cruel sun hits Zabuza as he goes flying backwards with a hole in the front of him. Haku quickly throws Senbei onto Zabuza's neck as he takes him out, and Naruto stops. Haku quickly takes the mist ninja and disappears as Kakashi realizes that this guy was an Anbu member of the Mist Village. As Naruto walks back to shore calmly, he then sits down as if nothing had happened. Sasuke is in awe at this, and also kind of annoyed that Naruto had actually taken out another enemy again. It was starting to get on his nerves. Sakura was just scared and was cowering behind Tazuna as looking at Naruto like a monster, which made Naruto actually feel a twinge of sadness deep inside. Naruto looks at Kakashi and then asks if there's anything they can do, as Kakashi, that now that they've taken out the biggest threat, Kakashi says that they'll begin training their chakra control for the next few days, and then after that they'll head over to the bridge in case anything else happens. As Naruto and the group begin to train, Naruto uses his sunlight energy and his chakra in order to attach himself to the tree as he walks up it. He actually has a very hard time doing this, as his sunlight energy, which is very overpowering, combined with the chakra of Kurama distracting him and ripping his chakra control to lower degrees, causing him to get frustrated, as his usual immense overwhelming power can't conquer this. Sasuke and Sakura get it before him, and Sasuke laughs at Naruto, telling him that there is something he can beat him at then. Naruto looks annoyed as he then continues to work harder. Eventually, Naruto passes out as nightfall comes, and Naruto is back into his normal body. As Naruto sits up, he looks around at him, and then he remembers what Sakura said and what her eyes said to him when he was looking at her before. He has a small tear, but then wipes it away quickly, thinking that everyone thinks of him like that, just like a monster. Naruto then goes back to what he was doing when Haku suddenly finds him in the forest. Haku walks over to ask Naruto what's wrong as he saw him crying. Naruto tells him he wasn't crying at all and that was just his imagination. Haku then tells him that he's a ninja, right? Naruto nods and says he is, and that he's training hard to become the next Hokage, in fact. Naruto in his normal form now at nighttime can actually walk on the tree rather easily, and his chakra control has gone way up. As Naruto falls back to the ground, he's smiling, thinking that he did it. Haku then tells him that those who are strong may be mighty, but those who fight for someone else instead of their own power is far stronger than anyone else. Naruto takes this to heart as he thinks about what that means, and he then says thanks to this strange person. As this girl, for what he thinks is a girl, is walking away, Haku suddenly turns around and then says, "Oh, by the way, I'm a boy." Naruto's jaw drops as he just realizes that he just screwed up, and he says that he was so totally sorry. Haku laughs as he walks away and says that people screw up all the time. As Naruto wakes up the next morning, his entire team begins to head out towards the bridge, and as they get there, Naruto feels his body growing back to its normal self, as the day has about 30 minutes or so before it's 11:30. Naruto thinks that if they hit 12 o'clock, there's nothing that could stop him anyway, so as long as they hit midday, everything should be fine. As Naruto is heading towards the bridge, suddenly a mist begins to roll over the entire group. As Naruto winces his eyes a little, not recognizing this jutsu, having never seen it before. Kakashi tells everyone to get back, as suddenly Zabuza reappears, Naruto crunching his fist thinking that he screwed up, as well as seeing Haku behind him. Kakashi then rushes at Zabuza, as the fight between Zabuza and Haku versus Team 7 on the bridge begins. Well, you guys already know what happened with the bridge of the bridge in the Land of Waves, and Naruto and Team 7 had actually gone and seen Zabuza, as well as Haku standing there now not dead. Naruto, who is kind of surprised by this, is actually pretty pissed off, because he thought he'd finished off Zabuza last time when he killed him, seemingly in the first battle. As Zabuza and Haku appear with mist rolling over it, Naruto immediately tells the rest of the team that he'll take care of Zabuza, as Naruto feels his muscles bulging, as his pride is getting a bit damaged from him failing. He then tells them that he'll take him out for good this time. They all nod, including Kakashi, and Kakashi says that they'll back him up, as last time he seemed to be handling it, but Naruto needs to be careful so he doesn't get too injured. Naruto looks to Kakashi and then nods his head, telling him he'll do his best. Immediately, Naruto pushes off of the ground, causing a crack to form where he was originally standing. A large amount of heat is pressing over his body, causing the mist to start moving away, as the water in the actual air mist itself is getting dehydrated and thus turned back into water vapor. As Zabuza is being approached by Naruto, Kakashi and now with him Sasuke are going against Haku, while Sakura protects Tazuna. Now we have Zabuza versus Naruto, as Naruto begins to basically tackle Zabuza. Naruto, now with him on the ground, is beginning to melt Zabuza as Zabuza uses the clone jutsu to push Naruto off and escape, with the water clone then going after Naruto himself. As soon as the water clone comes into a close distance with Naruto, Naruto cranks up the heat, causing it to disable itself immediately. Naruto then creates, using some of his chakra, a cruel sun, which he then throws at Zabuza. Zabuza takes his executioner's blade and cuts this in half, as both halves of the sun go cruising around, slamming into, respectively, Kakashi and Sasuke while they're fighting Haku. Naruto says sorry as they have now parts of their clothes burned off as they continue fighting Haku. Moving on to the focus to Haku versus Kakashi and Zabuza. Haku is getting pushed back and is actually losing the fight originally, as Kakashi is not using the Sharingan yet and is still above Haku in terms of skill. As Sasuke is backing up Kakashi, Haku sees no other way than to use his Kage Genkai. He quickly activates the Demon Ice Mirror's jutsu and surrounds Kakashi and Zabuza. As they're battling, Kakashi activates his Sharingan as Haku's moving from light mirror to mirror so fast that Kakashi can't see without using the Sharingan. As he does so, he then has Sasuke activate his Sharingan as well, as He does so, and Sasuke and Kakashi together dodge and weave out of the way of the Senbon. Sasuke is actually getting hit by quite a few of these Senbon, as Haku himself is basically more skilled than Sasuke, but less skilled than Kakashi. Kakashi tells Naruto to fire a cruel sun towards them, as Naruto is grasping the Zabuza's executioner's blade by the blade with his hand and holding it back. He then quickly uses his other hand and forms a cruel sun, blasting it towards the ice mirrors. As soon as the sun comes into contact with the mirrors, they begin to melt down into water almost immediately from how hot they are. Kakashi then pushes Sasuke out of the way, as he then has the mirrors seal back up using his own Kage. Sasuke is banging on the mirrors from the outside, telling Kakashi that he needs help and that he can get it back in there. So Kakashi is now going hand to hand with Haku, and as this is occurring, he then takes Haku and grabs him by the mask, throwing him out just out of the mirror as he's trying to get to the next one. He then uses the water dragon jutsu, which he learned last time against Zabuza, and pushes Haku back towards Zabuza and Naruto. Naruto, finish it now! Naruto then uses his own jutsu, as he then quickly makes a large cruel sun. The largest one he's ever made, in fact. This sun is about the size of a large beach ball in relevance, and as he brings it down upon the two, they collapse into the ground as they pass out from heat stroke and exhaustion. Haku, who is actually completely wiped out after Kakashi's attack, and Naruto's attack combined with that completely knocks out Haku. Haku and Zabuza then are taken back as Gato's men arrive, which Naruto takes care of rather easily. Naruto picks up Zabuza's executioner blade and swings it over his shoulder, telling Kakashi they shouldn't allow him to keep this one, as he throws it to Kakashi. As he does so, he then picks up Haku and Zabuza, who are still alive, and they decide to take them back to the Leaf Village for capture. Naruto, as he is thanked by Tazuna, tells him it was no big deal, and that it was actually a lot easier than he thought it would have been. Naruto is actually thinking that Sasuke and Sakura need to up their game, as him and Kakashi pretty much carry that entire fight. Kakashi actually voices these thoughts to them and tells Sasuke and Sakura that they basically did nothing that fight, and that if Sasuke had stayed back with Sakura, they probably could have finished it even faster. So this pisses Sasuke off more and tells him that just because he's not as big as Naruto and Kakashi doesn't mean he can't do some stuff. Naruto says that that's not what he means, and that Sasuke's skills are lacking in pretty much most things. His flame jutsu, the fireball jutsu, isn't hot enough to even melt those ice mirrors, and that unless you can do that, there's no way you can beat someone like that guy. Naruto would then head back to the Leaf Village along with the rest of the team after a few days, and once they arrive back at the village, this is when Naruto would be walking around with Konohamaru, looking like his dad kind of, which is kind of funny to think about, as Konohamaru just being a small child with Naruto being a massive man. As Naruto's walking around, Konohamaru bumps into Kankuro. As he does so, he then turns around pissed off and tells this little brat to get out of his way, as he shouldn't bump into people, that was all of his fault. As this happens, Naruto is standing there and tells him to drop him as he's holding Konohamaru above his head. Naruto looks down at this puny genin and tells him to drop it right now, as that's the third Hokage's grandson. The kid looks up to him and tells him that he has no authority over him, as Naruto then takes his hand and puts it over Kankuro's head, begins to squeeze lightly. As he is slowly upping the grip pressure, Kankuro begins to grab his head, trying to rip Naruto's hand off. As he does so, Naruto feels nothing, as it has no effect on him, and Kankuro is beginning to foam at the mouth. Gaara walks up and then calmly places his hand on Naruto's hand. Immediately, Naruto senses something and stops, letting go, almost out of instinct. Gaara smiles and tells him that he truly is powerful, and that he's going to kill him in this tournament. Naruto has no idea what's going on and is asking what he means. What do you mean? Sand ninja, I'm assuming, based on the markings as well as the clothing that you're wearing. Why aren't you intuitive? And what might your name be? My name's Naruto Uzumaki, the future Hokage of the Leaf Village, in fact. Gaara laughs as he thinks about how this freak of a person could actually claim that he could be the Hokage. He then says that he must be some jonin already. Why would he be walking around with this kid? Gaara is then explained to that by Naruto that Naruto is actually a genin himself, and that for some reason his body is always in this state due to the power of the sun. Gaara laughs in a cruel, maniacal way as his cold eyes lock into Naruto's flaming ones, almost opposites. He then turns to his head slightly to see Sasuke in the tree, and tells him that he saw him there the whole time. Naruto nods and tells Sasuke to come out, as Sasuke jumps to the ground, kind of annoyed that his spot had been taken. Now that Gaara walks away with his team, Kankuro, having his head almost being crushed by Naruto, is now taking an interest in Naruto and wants to fight him as soon as possible, not knowing that he's actually a genin himself, which is rather interesting to Gaara. Now that this is beginning to happen, Naruto takes Sasuke along with Sakura to Mikakashi as they talk about what's going to happen now in the Chunin exams. Do you guys want to take the Chunin exams? Oh yeah, totally. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all want to take the Chunin exams, especially Sasuke. Sasuke in this time, I would say, is beginning to feel an inferiority complex to Naruto, as Naruto is actually quite skillful when it comes to ninja, or doing things as a ninja in general. Naruto is just so overwhelmingly strong and powerful that he just takes advantage of his enemies. His only weakness really is that he's so prideful. That could be the only thing that could get him. Either that or he thinks about Naruto's other weakness he knows about and then forgets about it for a second. He tells Kakashi they're all ready, as after the next few days they head over to the building to take it. As they get to the building, they then realize, with Sasuke realizing without Naruto paying too much attention actually, that there's a genjutsu on the building. Naruto easily wipes away this genjutsu with his overwhelming heat stroke power, as he causes a wave of heat to flow through the building, knocking out the Chunin. They then walk into the actual exam itself. As they get into the examination room, however, Rock Lee comes flying out of nowhere telling Naruto, "Naruto, I challenge you, for you're the best genin of your year, right?" Naruto accepts this challenge gracefully, as he then tells Rock Lee to come at him. Naruto stands still, and as he puts his arms over his chest, he tells Rock Lee that if he can move him back 1 inch while he's standing there, then he'll have won the fight. Rock Lee tells him that he shouldn't be so confident and that can be his downfall, as Rock Lee, using with nothing but his own strength, is trying to kick Naruto. As Rock Lee is going around Naruto using taijutsu on him, Naruto stands perfectly still with no effect on him whatsoever. Lee is actually so concerned by this that, especially the fact that Naruto is seeing all of his movements, his eyes following him. He is considering opening the first gate in order to actually move this person so he can win, and if he couldn't do that, how is he ever going to beat them in this exam? Or how could he ever beat Neji? This is the perfect challenge for him. Just as he's about to open the first gate, Gai Sensei comes flying out of nowhere, which surprises Naruto, as Gai Sensei actually was faster than Naruto could see, and kicks Lee out of the way. Naruto thinks that this person must be actually truly strong, as he sees his musculature build. Lee then is hit to the side, as Naruto is then given a hand by Gai, saying that it's so nice of him to take his students into the exams. Naruto blushes a bit as he then mumbles silently that he's actually taking the examination. And then Gai retracts his comment and laughs, saying that he's sorry, big guy, and that he thought that he was a Jonin or someone else teaching these two, as Sakura and Sasuke get even more annoyed. Well, actually Naruto's just a bit embarrassed. Naruto then, regaining his pride for that split second after of entombment, then says that, well, it's easy to mistake him due to his strength for being a Jonin or higher. After all, he did defeat the demon of the Mist Zabuza single-handedly, might he add. Naruto then tells Gai Sensei his team and him have to get into the examination, and he'll see him sometime in the future, as Naruto and the rest of the team get into the actual examination itself. Naruto can feel his footsteps pounding on top of the marble floor as he continues walking each step towards the large door frame. As he opens the door, he barely fits underneath it as he walks into the testing room. As he walks into the room, all of the other people who'd be participating in this exam turn around to see him. This mass of a man, for what we know is actually around 12 years old, is Naruto. His blonde hair and blue eyes, along with his whiskers, stretched out across his face, as he looks a lot older than he actually is. A lot of people are wondering what this guy's doing here when Naruto sits down. People wondering if this guy's actually taking the Chunin exams at his age. Naruto is beginning to feel a bit self-conscious, but pushes it away, thinking that they're just jealous of him and his strength. Sasuke and Sakura look down as they feel, including Sasuke, feel a bit bad for Naruto, as he's never actually been called out this much in public before in front of them. Naruto, as a young child, as well as just in the village in general, had always been made fun of for how he looked and was treated as a monster, which Naruto didn't want to admit it, but it actually did hurt his feelings back then, and he felt always alone, empty. He wanted to take revenge on them, but for some reason, he just, in his heart, he never could pull himself to do it. Anyway, Naruto shakes his head out of this trance as he's about to take the examination. They're all walked into the room, and this is where Naruto is seeing Kabuto getting beat on by some other ninja. Naruto steps in and holds his hand out, telling them to leave Kabuto alone. Kabuto introduces himself, and then they go on parting their ways. Naruto and the rest of their team would then walk into the actual testing room, where they begin the actual written exam. Naruto would sit down, and next to her would be Hinata. Hinata would be a little intimidated because Naruto had always been like this, and she was kind of used to it by now, though. She never made fun of Naruto for the way he looked, though, unlike a lot of other people. Naruto didn't seem to notice her, though, because of how different they were, with Naruto always basking in the sunlight while Hinata stood in the shadows alone as well. Naruto would begin to take the test, and Hinata notices that he's struggling. Naruto is pushing all of his effort into trying to get these questions correct, as he's holding his pencil with his hands. The pencil snaps in half, and as one of the other Chunin give him another one. Naruto sighs as he holds his hands over his head, not knowing how to do any of these. Hinata turns to him and says that she'll let him cheat off of her if he wants to. Naruto looks up and considers this for a moment. He then tells Hinata that if he can't win without cheating, then he doesn't deserve to win at all. He then looks back to his paper and thinks about how he's going to be able to do this. Naruto thinks his hardest, and he's beginning to sweat as the heat in the room is beginning to rise. A lot of the other people are actually literally feeling the burn, as the actual flames that are basically coursing through Naruto have begun to raise the pressure and temperature of the entire room. Gaara begins to notice this as well, as he looks down to see Naruto, his sand eye using to cheat off of the people who actually know the answers. Sakura and Sasuke would win and get their tests correct just like in the original. Naruto, on the other hand, would wait till the very last question, which is when he doesn't give up. Naruto sits there shakily, as a lot of the other teams give up just from the sheer thought of never being able to become anything higher than a Genin. Naruto stands it through it all, and this is when he's told that he passed. Naruto breathes a sigh of relief as the temperature in the room goes back down from absolutely roasting to a normal room temperature. A steam blows out the window from the now expelled heat. This is when Anko knocks on the door as she opens it and comes into the room. Naruto looks up as he gives a thumbs up to both Sasuke and Sakura, who also, with Sakura smiling back. Naruto then thinks about what challenges they might have ahead as he looks to Anko, this snake-like looking lady. Anko then tells them that it's time that they get out of this stupid old classroom and get into an actual fighting area. This is when Naruto perks up actually and thinks that he might actually succeed at this. Naruto stands up as he walks his way around the desk and leaves the door along with his team. Sakura would then ask Naruto how he did on the test, and Naruto would stand there proudly for a second before he tells her that he couldn't get any of the questions except the last one right. Hinata would be walking out along with her team now, as this is when she overhears Kiba making fun of Naruto. Dude, that guy looks so weird, don't you think, Shino? Shino says nothing as he thinks about how people think about him being weird for having bugs all around him. Hinata turns back to Kiba and is about to say something, but then stops as she continues walking forward with her head down. Naruto makes it to the forest as they're all about to get their scrolls. Anko is then about to tease them when suddenly she appears next to Naruto. Naruto's eyes watching her the whole time. What are you doing here, old man? Seemed like you couldn't get through, maybe, I don't know, a small Chunin exam at your age, old timer? This is when Naruto grits his teeth as he looks down at her and tells her that his name's Naruto Uzumaki, and he's actually 12 years old for her information, you old hag. Naruto then says this as Anko gets kind of pissed off and pulls her kunai out, seemingly fast. Naruto, before she can even gesture the kunai to be towards him, already has his finger out and blocks the sharp end of the blade, with no blood coming out of his finger through it. This is when Orochimaru takes notice and appears directly behind Anko, and Anko turns around to see what we would know as Orochimaru from the Grass Village. After this event takes place, everything calms down and Anko hands the scrolls out to the teams, with Naruto being handed the scroll begrudgingly. Naruto then looks back to his two teammates as he gives them a thumbs up, telling them that they have an Earth Scroll. Sasuke then tells them to shut up and that their other teams are actually going to come after them if they need that scroll. Naruto laughs and tells them that they can try, as his eyes light up with flames. This is when the teams are then led out into the forest. Sasuke would lead as Naruto would head it from behind in the rear guard, while Sakura holds the scroll in the middle. After going for a while, this would eventually be when Naruto decides he has to use the restroom. As Naruto goes under the tree to use the restroom, this is when they try to jump Naruto. Immediately, as the person is trying to jump him and take the scroll, They immediately regret it. Naruto turns around faster than the person could possibly react to him, and suddenly Naruto uses a flame jet, shooting it out and burning the target. This ninja falls to the ground in pain and agony as the searing feeling across their chest won't stop. They're gagging for air as Naruto leans down and takes their scroll, telling him that was a mistake. He then pulls up his pants as he walks back to Sakura and Sasuke, telling them that they have a scroll. Unfortunately, it's not the one they need, and so they continue on into the forest. As they're moving forward, this is when suddenly Naruto would begin to feel something. A rumbling deep inside of the forest as well as himself. His eyes would open wide as he suddenly feels a hint of danger. Sasuke, Sakura, move out of the way! This is when Naruto is completely smashed into by a ginormous snake, his huge body crumpling against the snake as they go flying off into the woods together. Sasuke and Sakura screaming, "Naruto!" as Naruto goes flying away. This is when they hear her laughing. As they turn around, they see the same grass ninja from before, with her tongue sticking out, slithering over her face, like a reptile. Sasuke grits his teeth as he's getting ready to get into a fight and tells Sakura to stay back. This is when Orochimaru would seemingly sweep in and try to attack Sasuke and Sakura. As we see Naruto battling this giant snake, he's actually fighting it with physical combat and is kind of winning. His physical strength is so great as well due to Sunshine's power that he's actually taking on the snake as a rather good challenge. He punches the snake in the top of its head as it tries to devour him, and it goes reeling back. It then bites at Naruto, trying to sink its teeth into him. As the tooth of the snake tries to pierce into Naruto's bicep, it shatters its own tooth on top of it, causing Naruto to laugh as he then punches the snake in the head, causing it to go flying back into a tree. Naruto flexes his muscles just as he thinks it's about time. He then pulls out his hand and says, "Anyone up for grilled snake?" Cruel Sun. Naruto uses Cruel Sun as it blasts towards the snake, completely frying it and roasting it alive, killing it seemingly instantly, with a pain higher than degree than Orochimaru could ever imagine. This is when they then see a large light coming in from the background. Orochimaru fighting off Sasuke's numerous flame attacks as Sasuke comes flying with kicks, punches, as well as any type of grab that he can manage on Orochimaru. With Orochimaru laughing and escaping each and every one of these, seeing Sasuke's future promise and even his hidden potential. Sasuke then feels a warm light behind him as he and Sakura turn back to see. Naruto then says for them to check their watches, as Sasuke and Sakura check the time in their timers in their bags. This is when they see that's 11:59 a.m. Naruto walks up to Orochimaru and tells him it's been a big mistake to trifle with him, as he feels sunshine energy beginning to pour throughout his entire body. It's almost that time, he thinks. I've never used this against an opponent before. It seems like this is the perfect opportunity to. Orochimaru asks what he means, what is he doing, when Naruto's body begins to bulk up with energy. 30. Naruto teleports instantly forward, dislodging Orochimaru from the tree and hitting him back. Sasuke telling Naruto that was a great hit. 15. Naruto then begins to walk forward slowly, as Orochimaru pulls himself off the ground, feeling burn marks across his body. 1. Suddenly an explosion of light comes from around Naruto, as his body begins to form into that of the One. Naruto's ultimate power of the one who wields sunshine, the most powerful. Naruto's pride flares as his personality and strength completely change. Orochimaru senses this, and all he can feel is terror, danger, as he looks into the flaming blue eyes of Naruto Uzumaki, the possessor of the Kage Genkai of Sunshine, of the famous Namikaze clan, those who rule under the sun. Naruto walks forward as he feels strength growing throughout him, and as he holds his hand out in front of Orochimaru, he then says, "It's been a pleasure fighting you." No, I should say, you've had the pleasure of fighting me, worm. But I guess it's time for you to go back to the hole you crawled out of and disappear. This is when Naruto holds up his hand as he begins to flow chakra from his entire body and from the spot on his back that he's been storing chakra all this time since he was a young child, and pours all of the energy of sunshine that he can into this. Naruto then says in soft words, "Divine Sword." Suddenly he slices his hand down sideways as if though cutting through the air, and flames following this path begin to move forward. Orochimaru begins to scream as he realizes what's happening to his body. He begins to smolder and molt as his body is beginning to be altered. Naruto then says, "Goodbye, Orochimaru." Naruto's flames begin to cover Orochimaru's body as Orochimaru's body begins to actually get split in half. At the last possible second before Naruto can finish him off, Orochimaru implants the curse mark on Sasuke, biting him just as he's about to die. Sasuke, you will wield this power well. It appears that my time has come to an end. Naruto actually kills Orochimaru here, as Orochimaru is beginning to be devoured by the flames of the One. This is when his body is completely destroyed, with nothing left to show him besides the curse mark that had just been imbued upon Sasuke. Naruto looks down at the ashes of this man and turns back to his teammates as his body begins to shrink. Suddenly his eyes begin to close as Naruto used up all of his power to kill him. Suddenly Sakura and Sasuke meet someone they've never met before. A young boy with blonde, short hair, who seems about the same size as them actually, maybe even shorter than them, with smaller, cat-like whiskers, who seems happy, as he seemed to pass out while he was smiling. Sakura actually thinks that this version of Naruto is much cuter than the one who's just a massive, hulking meat bun walking around. Sasuke would ignore this comment as he then tells Sakura to help him as he picks up Naruto. Naruto's baggy clothing trailing behind them as they walk through the forest, with Sasuke beginning to feel pain as well, telling Sakura that he's almost out of chakra, and that if Naruto hadn't shown up in time, he'd probably be passed out right now too. They both make it to that same entrance to the small forest grotto, where they lay Naruto down as he's sleeping, trying to get as much of sunlight on him as possible. Slowly noticing the energy begin to fulfill his body again, as his body slowly is beginning to grow back to its normal size. Sasuke, as he lays Naruto down, then immediately falls to the ground, with Sakura screaming if Sasuke's alright. Sasuke is blurring in and out of consciousness as he passes out. This is when Naruto is in a dream. Naruto dreams of himself walking on a large plain, looking across this empty sea of grass. As Naruto looks up, he sees a bright, brilliant sun. Something amazing, something powerful, something that brings life. Naruto then fades out of consciousness and out of reality, as we then go back to see what's really going on in the real world. Sakura's getting dragged by her hair by one of the sound ninja, as they're laughing at how weak she is and wondering where Sasuke Uchiha is, thinking that their master Orochimaru is still alive. Naruto, who had killed him, is completely out. Sakura screams in help and is seemingly in vain and is about to die, when suddenly Rock Lee comes out of nowhere, saving her as she had just cut her hair and fallen away from that sound ninja's grasp. Lee begins to fight them off, but is actually beginning to get beat up by them as well, with Lee not knowing how he's able to fight back. Lee falls alongside Sakura, and just as this takes place, Sasuke awakens with the curse mark flowing over him. Sasuke's dark power reels its ugly head as he walks out of the forest grotto, into the view of his enemies. "I'm an avenger," Sasuke Uchiha says as he walks forward, looking to his new opponents. He places his feet before Sakura and Rock Lee, defending them, as he walks forward to one of the sound ninja. "Sasuke Uchiha." This is when Sasuke seemingly teleports behind them, grabbing his arms and beginning to pull his actual foot into his back, pushing him forward. This sound ninja begins to scream his pain as he feels his actual ligaments beginning to get pulled taut, as his arms begin to feel like they're ripping off of his body. Sasuke is pulling as hard as he can when he drops the poor bastard as he falls to the ground. Sasuke walks forward, kicking him in the head as he walks by. As Sasuke walks past, he then looks over to the next sound ninja, seemingly appearing before him as if a mere flash. As this dark flash appears before the next one, he easily provides an uppercut to the sound Kunoichi's actual cheek, and she goes out, completely is knocked out. Then the last one decides to escape, as he leaves his team behind and runs off into the forest before Sasuke can do any more damage. Sakura rushes up to Sasuke and tells him it's enough as he's about to go after him, with Sakura hugging Sasuke from behind and him waking back to reality with the curse marks fading back. They turn around to see Naruto's begin to grow back to his normal size, with his clothes beginning to fit on him again. Naruto would actually wake up after a while, as he shakes his head and looks over to see that his friends are there. He feels the energy of sunshine flowing back through him as normal, and thinks that he actually took that guy out. Naruto wonders and asks if they made it away from that guy, but all of them nod, except for Rock Lee, who left at this point. Naruto sighs and says that he's glad. He didn't know if he could actually beat that guy unless it had been 12 o'clock. Naruto tells him that if he hadn't been able to gain his ultimate power at that exact moment from the power of sunshine, they probably would have been screwed. That guy was super strong. Sasuke nods his head and tells him that he's totally right. He used all the jutsu he knew on him, and that guy just simply walked out of it like it was nothing. He then asks what the technique was that Naruto used. It was amazing. Naruto sighs and looks up, telling him that it's a secret technique that he learned from his Kage Genkai. Every day at 12 o'clock a.m., exactly when the sun is highest overhead the earth, he gains a power more immense than anyone could ever imagine. It's called the One, Naruto explains. It's when the maximum amount of sunshine energy is in my body, and I can use a special technique that utilizes all of the power of sunshine that I have inside of my body. It's called the... Sasuke interrupts him and asks about the Divine Sword, right? Naruto nods as he says, the Divine Sword is actually a sealing technique. What I used on him was a sealing jutsu that, when I used it, actually took sunshine and began to burn his body and soul from the inside out. That's why he began to burst into flames like that. However, it takes a huge toll on my body, and when I use that, I actually just get knocked out instantly. If I were to use it in any practical battle that wasn't a 1v1, there's no way I could actually win with it. Especially if there were more than one opponent. I can only use that on one opponent at a time. Sasuke then nods as he sees Naruto's legs are still shaking from the attack. Sasuke helps him and goes under his arm as he tries to help carry Naruto. Sakura tries to help as well. They feel like they're lugging an actual ton of iron, as Naruto's way heavier in this form. Naruto's being dragged forward, and as they make it through the forest, this is when they meet Kabuto. Kabuto would go along with them, thinking that Orochimaru is still alive, thinking that Sasuke might be the new body that they might need. As the team make it to the actual Forest of Death's tower, Naruto, being dragged behind, stands up shakily as he sees Gaara and the rest of the Sand team. Naruto walks in as he says hi to Iruka-sensei, greeting him kindly and warmly. This is when they all begin their next phase of the Chunin exams. As Naruto walks into the examination room, he can see that the Sand trio of Gaara, Kankuro, as well as Temari are already waiting in the room for the rest of the teams to arrive. After Team 7 has made it, shortly after that, Neji, Rock Lee, and Tenten would arrive as well, along with the rest of the teams in the Chunin exams that would take place in the original. As Naruto's sitting there, gazing at the other opponents, thinking about what this next examination might be, Iruka-sensei would speak up and begin to explain the next phase of the Chunin exams. In this part of the Chunin exams, we'll have these Genin go against each other in a small tournament. This will be the preliminary rounds for a large tournament that will be held in an arena for everyone to see. Naruto was getting interested as he could now display his power, as Naruto was feeling especially over-prideful currently. As Naruto is listening more on the rules from Iruka, suddenly Iruka would begin to explain the matchups. Naruto would be fighting Kiba in the first round. Kiba gulps as he realizes he has to fight one of the strongest Genin in their year at the beginning of the whole tournament. Kiba would sigh as he thinks he has no chance of going in, but he's still going to give it his best shot. As Kiba gets down to the arena, Naruto would gracefully leap down to the bottom floor, as everyone is preparing for the fight. As Kiba and Akamaru get into battle stance, he asks Naruto if he's ready. Naruto simply holds up his hand and waves for him to come forward. Kiba tells him that cocky attitude of his isn't going to get him anywhere with him, as he uses his Fang over Fang attack. Kiba and Akamaru, who are spinning wildly, go flying towards Naruto, as they slam directly into his chest before reverberating backwards. Naruto hasn't even moved a single step, as the two fall on their backs as they try to recover from this attack. The two continue to barrage Naruto with all of their attacks as hard as they can. Naruto slowly raises the temperature in the room by 1 degree every time he gets hit. Around the 100th hit, it's now 100 degrees in the room, as Kiba and Akamaru are sweating profusely. Suddenly, they're going in for one final attack, when Kiba's about to throw a punch before he passes out from heat stroke. Naruto, who hasn't moved the entire time, turns down the heat as he takes back all of sunshine to his body. Everyone in the room breathes a sigh of relief as the temperature goes back to normal temperatures. Naruto would pick up Kiba and Akamaru as he gives them to the medical team, who put them on stretchers to get them into a cool room with some water in there for them as well. Naruto would go back up and sit in the stands, as Sakura and Sasuke are both impressed with what Naruto had just accomplished. Sasuke still has the curse mark in this timeline, however, Orochimaru is actually dead already due to Naruto using his Divine Sword technique. As Sasuke gets down to the arena, he doesn't have any issues utilizing his chakra, as the curse mark doesn't seem to be afflicting him. Sasuke would be fighting that same Sound Ninja from the original, as he prepares for battle. The Sound Ninja tries to grab Sasuke, thinking that he'll be weak and slowed from the curse mark, when he suddenly is dodged. Sasuke uses his chakra and creates a fireball jutsu, blasting it towards the chakra-absorbing Sound Ninja. The Sound Ninja would hold his hand out as he absorbs the fireball, when Sasuke comes from behind the fireball using his own technique. As Sasuke utilizes what he had learned from the Sharingan against Rock Lee, Sasuke would use Taijutsu as he copies Rock Lee's Lion's Barrage. As he uses the Lion's Barrage on the Sound Ninja, the Sound Shinobi would be felled, as Sasuke's attacks had done serious damage to him. Sasuke, having not been weakened, would make him a far more dangerous opponent. Sasuke would walk back upstairs to join Naruto and Sakura, with Sakura blushing all over Sasuke as she rushes to try and help him. Sasuke would sigh as he says that was easy, as they prepare to help the Sound Ninja get up from the ground. The next battle would take place as Hinata and Neji would prepare for their fight, having skipped over Sakura and Ino's fight as no one wants to watch filler anyway. Anyway, back to the fight. Hinata and Neji get into the battle. As Neji comes rushing forward, he tries to pierce Hinata in her abdomen with a quick attack of using the Gentle Fist style. Hinata dodges out of the way rather fast as she comes in with a kick, sending Neji flying to the left. Neji quickly recovers as he uses his hands as a spring pad, launching off of them into the wall and then using his feet to push towards Hinata. Hinata would be prepared to use one of the Gentle Fist styles when Neji prepares his own barrage. As soon as Neji gets within range of Hinata, he begins pelting her with all kinds of taijutsu skills of the Gentle Fist. Hinata is trying to recover and block using her own Gentle Fist style, but it's seemingly doing nothing, as Neji's getting through her defenses with ease. Naruto would watch as he sees his style of taking chakra into his fingers and trying to pop out the enemy's chakra points. He would be impressed with Neji's resourcefulness as he used the springboarding technique against the wall to give him more power and momentum, thus making Hinata's dodges and blocks more useless than they would have been originally. Naruto would be watching with great interest as he sees Neji's unique style, Neji spinning and using many acrobatic techniques against Hinata. Naruto would follow Neji's style with his eyes, as he looks forward to see what his next attack or blow against Hinata might be. Suddenly Hinata falls, as she falls to the ground, seemingly passed out. Neji must have done some serious damage to her internal organs from missing chakra points, he thinks, as Hinata had used those to dodge out of the way. Naruto would watch as Hinata is put on a stretcher and taken away. Neji would say nothing as Naruto looks down to him. Naruto would then say something as he tells Neji that he has no pride against Hinata's sake. However, he does wish to challenge himself against Neji's strength, and he looks forward to battling him in the future. Neji would smile and say likewise, as he thinks that Naruto is an especially abnormal case of strength given by destiny. Naruto would be looking forward to his battle with Neji, as he then prepares to see the next fight between Gaara and Rock Lee. As he watches Rock Lee's taijutsu strength, he suddenly sees as Rock Lee unlocks the 8 inner gates. As soon as the first gate is unlocked, Naruto stands as he leans against the railing, impressed with such a physical boost in power. As Naruto thinks that Rock Lee with the gates opened might actually be a challenge for him. Naruto would then continue watching observantly, as Rock Lee is flying from every which way, battling against Gaara. No, not flying. His speed and strength against each wall made it appear as though he could fly. Naruto's watching with great interest as he sees Rock Lee bouncing from wall to wall almost instantly, his speed and strength abnormal even for him. He's rather interested in seeing Rock Lee winning this fight, as Gaara has no way of countering, even though his sand is trying to protect him, it's just not fast enough. Gaara takes damage from Lee, as Lee is about to win the fight. As Lee takes a step back, preparing to take the fight over, he suddenly feels pain throughout his entire body, as using so many of the gates at once and unlocking them using so much power had caused a severe drain on his stamina. Gaara takes advantage of this opportunity as he prepares to throw a sand attack to crush Rock Lee's leg. Just as the sand is about to wrap itself around Rock Lee's leg and finish off its prey by crunching his bones, a blast of brilliant light would suddenly blast out of the stands, as its golden hot form of flame would burst down into the arena as it blocks Lee from the attack. The sand would wrap around Naruto's legs as it tries to break its bones, when suddenly the sand ruptures as the heat around Naruto's skin causes it to turn to glass. Rock Lee would be shocked as he sees this man appear out of nowhere, seemingly a burst of sunlight, as he would then say that Lee's already lost the fight, noticing that Lee's stamina was so drained that he couldn't even move. Rock Lee would be thankful for his savior, but he has no idea why. He would then tell Gaara that this man will be his opponent someday, and he needs him to actually have all functioning limbs in order to be a good challenge for him. Gaara would make a sound of agony. Gaara sees this man who is just taking a full frontal attack from him at full strength, having no injuries at all. Naruto would appear back in the stands, as though nothing had occurred, and a glimmer of light. Lee would be declared the loser as Gaara takes victory, with Lee thanking Naruto for saving him after getting back to the stands. Naruto would say it's no problem as he's staring at Gaara, thinking that one is rather strong, as we now zoom down to see that Naruto's leg has scratches all over his skin. He would then look over to Sasuke, who would notice the blood coming from his leg, as he asked Naruto if he's alright, having never seen him get injured like this from someone of their level before. Naruto would nod, saying it's just merely a flesh wound, as he would then continue to wait for the next instructions, having finished the preliminaries. As Iruka Sensei comes out to instruct them on the next step of the games for these new Chunin exams, he would then say congratulations to all the winners, as now they have 1 month to train before the next event for who will be ranked up to become a Chunin. Naruto's excited to hear what's going to take place, and hopefully if it starts tomorrow the next day, when suddenly Iruka says that they'll have 1 month to train. Naruto sighs of annoyance as he thinks that he's just ready to get this all over with, knowing that he's way stronger than any of these people. Naruto would sigh as he stands up and prepares to leave the venue, with the rest of the Genin following suit. Iruka would say he'll see everyone at the event in the next month. Naruto wouldn't even bother training, as he walks out of the event with no interest at all, having to think about what he's going to do for the next month. Sasuke would go off to train with Kakashi, as Naruto goes back home to sleep. After a long, peaceful night, and the stars go back under the cloud of the sky of daylight, Naruto would be awakened at the very crack of dawn, as the morning sun rays light of the sun would break through the clouds. Suddenly the door would come crashing down as Master Jiraiya comes walking in, looking rather annoyed and plastered drunk. As Jiraiya walks into the room, Naruto would sit up, feeling groggy as he rubs the sleep out of his eyes. "Hey, kid." Jiraiya would fall over as he falls into a table. Naruto's expired milk would spill all over as it gets on Jiraiya's head. Naruto would sit up as he asked what this old man's doing in his house. Jiraiya would start talking as he's completely wasted from last night's partying. Naruto would sigh as he helps the old-timer up and leans him against the outside porch as he lives through his hangover. After a few hours and a lot of agony, Jiraiya would recover as he sits up to accepting the glass of water that Naruto hands him. Naruto, who finishes yawning as he finishes eating his breakfast, would ask the old man what he's been doing and why he's at his house. Jiraiya would remember why he had originally come there, as he had remembered that he was supposed to meet up with Naruto due to what Kakashi had told him. Your name's Naruto, right?" Jiraiya would ask, as he doesn't recognize Naruto from the little boy who he had known from back then to be Minato and Kushina's son. Naruto would nod as he says that it is indeed who he is, as Jiraiya would sigh, having not recognized him in the slightest. He would then tell Naruto that he's been assigned by Kakashi to help him train for the next month for the Chunin exams. Naruto would sigh in annoyance as he never asked Kakashi for any training. He then sighs and tells the old man to go away. Jiraiya, who'd be shocked at this, who having never been denied training from someone else before, would ask Naruto if he's serious. Naruto would nod and say there's no point in training, as he's already stronger than all of the Genin that are taking place in these Chunin exams combined. This is when Jiraiya would say he's being too arrogant, when Naruto would say that he isn't. Naruto looks up and tells Jiraiya that he's fought someone truly strong before during these exams, and they weren't even a Genin. Everyone else here I can actually deal with, and the only one who's actually been able to deal any damage to me. We have a flashback to Naruto with Gaara crushing his leg with the sand and leaving scratches. Naruto would then say to Jiraiya after that small flashback, is way too unpredictable and doesn't have any control over his emotions. Gaara, as he thinks about him. That man is the only one in this Genin examination that might even pose a threat to me if he could control his emotions. Jiraiya would sigh as he asks Naruto if he's sure about this. Naruto would say he'll go and train with Jiraiya if he really insists on it, but there's not much he can do to gain strength anyway, as all he can do is wait for his normal body to grow larger so that more of his sunshine power can go into it. He tells Jiraiya that by the time that he's an adult, his body would have grown at least twice or 3 times his normal size that he is now, so that means that his sunshine power will have more of a conduit, so he'll get stronger naturally anyway. Jiraiya would then think about how he knows that Naruto has the Kyuubi sealed within him as well. Jiraiya would then pose an idea. Instead of working on training Sunshine, how about we work on training the power that you have lying dormant within you, the Kyuubi chakra of the Jinchuriki? Naruto would nod as he thinks about the Nine Tails and how he's seen it in action before. He asks Jiraiya if there's really a way to tame such a power, as he'd only been able to unlock it after attaining a rage of such fury that he himself was blinded by it. Naruto would listen to Jiraiya as they head out into the mountains to begin his training to withhold the Kyuubi's chakra. Naruto would begin practicing immediately to go within his seal of Jiraiya. Jiraiya would help him unlock the seal with the key, as Naruto was already strong enough to handle himself against Orochimaru, from what Naruto had told Jiraiya. You killed Orochimaru by yourself? Naruto nods, as he tells Jiraiya about his power that occurs every day at 12 o'clock. At the exact center of the day, during the midnight evening sky, before dawn and evening truly have a center, the sun is sufficiently raised to the point in the middle of the sky that I can obtain more power from it, as the chakra from the sun's rays boosts my sunshine ability to its maximum. That's what I call my divine form. He looks at Jiraiya with questioning eyes, as he asks if Jiraiya understands what he means. Jiraiya, who witnessed Minato have this exact same power before, and conquer it without having any physical mutations like Naruto has, he would understand what's going on, as he had seen Minato's same abilities, to a higher degree than Naruto had even mastered. He would then tell Naruto that they'll begin training with the Kyuubi's chakra immediately, as they get down to business. He tells Naruto to sit down to meditate, as Naruto begrudgingly does so, getting onto his knees, and sitting aside as he prepares his hands to set them together. As he prepares to absorb chakra from the surrounding sun's rays, he then dives deep within himself, using the chakra he gathers to open up the seal, along with Jiraiya applying the key from the frog that Minato had written down. As the Kyuubi seal is unleashed, Naruto dives within it immediately, as he looks up with his flaming sunshine all around him to see the Kyuubi standing there in its glory. The Kyuubi would growl as it then says to Naruto,
"Naruto, what are you doing here, you beast? This is my cage."
Naruto would laugh. He says, "Kyuubi, what are you doing inside my body? I have enough power on my own. I don't see if it's even fit for you to be here." The Kyuubi would sigh as he tells Naruto that it wasn't exactly his choice to be in there anyway. Naruto would open the gate confidently with one arm as it swings open at fast speed. The Kyuubi would sigh as he asks if he really wants to do this. Naruto would then pulse his fist up and down as he tells the Kyuubi he's ready to take him down. The Kyuubi would sigh as it begins to laugh, telling Naruto that he's way out of his league. Suddenly, the Kyuubi would smash Naruto against the side of the cage as Naruto goes flying against the wall, bouncing from wall to wall back and forth. Naruto would appear to take heavy damage as he gets hit and while he watched by the Kyuubi, with the Kyuubi using a Bijou Bomb and slamming it into Naruto. After a barrage of the Kyuubi slamming and slicing at Naruto's body, Naruto would get up with barely a scratch on him. The Kyuubi would be horrified as it sees Naruto having survived such an attack. Naruto would laugh as he wipes the blood off of his face, and he spits out some. He then tells the Kyuubi and asks if that's the best that he's got. This is when Kurama would stand back, absolutely horrified that a human could be this strong. He then remembers how Minato Namikaze had taken his own hand when the Kyuubi had tried to smash into him with his own tail, and had blocked it with one arm. Naruto would walk forward one step at a time as the Kyuubi inches backwards from feeling an immense heat. Naruto's eyes would begin to glow with flames as he looks up with his hair, body, and entire form sizzling with strength and flame. "Kyuubi, give me your chakra." Kurama would roar as pushing him back into a corner caused him to grow even more fearful and filled with hatred. Naruto would fly forward as he uses a cruel sun. "Cruel sun," Naruto would say as he throws it towards the Kyuubi. The Kyuubi is slammed into by this miniature sun as he goes flying backwards and feels a burn mark across his fur. Naruto would then say he's not done with him yet, as he creates a blade of heat across his entire left arm and slashes at the Kyuubi, slicing him over and over again as the Kyuubi howls in pain and agony. Naruto would say that and ask if that's all the bad fox has got, as he pushes Kurama around like a rag doll. He then powers up an attack as he creates a ball of flame in front of him, making it grow larger and larger until it's around the size of Kurama itself. He would then say with this new attack, "Morning Light." Suddenly the golden flame would rush into Kurama as he's completely trapped by the fire. Naruto would then walk through the flames, his power of sunshine glowing profusely. The cube would pass out as it falls to the ground, having been completely and utterly defeated by Naruto. Naruto, having gone all out against the Kyuubi, would sigh as he feels sweat pouring out of every pore in his body, having overdid it a bit. Naruto would reach forward for his own spiritual chakra, grabbing the Kyuubi's and ripping all of it almost away. As Naruto awakens from his slumber, his body is smaller and more slender, as he's still as tall as he was before, but his muscles have shrank to become more speed, agility-based rather than strength. His entire body is covered with the Kyuubi's chakra, as you can see black and yellow markings over his entire form. Naruto would quickly dispel this KCM-1 form, as he sees no need for use of his chakra as for right now. Jiraiya would be amazed, having seen that Naruto had actually defeated the Kyuubi within him on his first try. Jiraiya would ask Naruto how strong he thinks he is. Naruto would then look up as he says that he had defeated one of the legendary Sannin after all. Some big old fox wasn't exactly intimidating to him. Jiraiya would reseal the Kyuubi, as the seal on Naruto's stomach would go back to its normal form. Naruto's body would raise back to its muscular form, as his more slender version of himself would disappear along with the Kyuubi's chakra. He then asked Jiraiya what that was, as Jiraiya explains that when a Jinchuriki masters its tailed beast, it can access its tailed beast's chakra and power. Naruto would practice tapping into the power of the Jinchuriki for the next month as he focuses strictly on that. Jiraiya would be heavily impressed with Naruto, as they used the last week after Naruto had mastered using Axis and KCM form in order for Naruto to master his alteration to his body. Jiraiya would begin practicing with him on how to contain sunshine into a canister, and only access some of it at a time. It's impossible for Naruto, though, as his chakra control is terrible. Jiraiya would try this again as Naruto gasps, falling to the ground, unconscious as he tried to contain so much power. Breathing heavily, he would sit up as Jiraiya pours water on him, as steam comes off his smoking body. There's only 1 day left until the Chunin exams, Jiraiya would say, as Naruto sits back up. "Yeah, and I think I have a long way to go before I can master my power."
And you're sure this will work, Jiraiya-sensei? The day before, Naruto had been training in order to master some of Sunshine's power in order to not kill his opponents every time he uses it, as Naruto has very little control over his own strength. "Yes, Naruto, I'm positive this will work. I had specially commissioned an order just for you." Naruto would smile as he asked Jiraiya if he really did that for him. Jiraiya would nod as he smiles, before he turns around crying as he looks at his empty wallet. It had cost him a lot of money to make this much of this specific metal, you could say. Naruto would pick it up, as we see the one-handed axe. A one-handed axe very similar to the one that you can see Escanor wielding in Seven Deadly Sins. As Naruto touches it, his sunshine and his chakra would begin to go inside the axe, as the metal, which was previously silver, would begin to turn gold. "Wow," Naruto would say, as you can feel the blade basically radiating heat and flame, as well as the flame energy coming off of it. Jiraiya would sweat a little as he then tells Naruto that with this axe you can concentrate your power into the metal. This is a special type of metal similar to what the Leaf Village Asuna uses with his blades. If you can master by putting your power into this axe, it should severely also allow you to weaken and focus your strength. This way you don't have to worry about going all out against every opponent. Naruto would turn around as he gives Jiraiya a big hug, thanking him so much. Jiraiya would pat him on his muscly back as he tells Naruto it's alright, with Naruto smiling as he then says that he's going to destroy the competition, and that it won't even be a competition at all, more like a slaughter. Naruto would laugh as he walks away, walking towards the stadium. As he walks into the stadium, he has the great axe, which, just for the sake of the crossover, we're going to call the axe Rita. Naruto wields Rita as he walks into the stadium, realizing pleasantly that it's almost noon, as well as that it's his turn to fight. "Neji Hyuga," Naruto would think. What pity I have for you." Neji would ask him what he means when Naruto is walking into the arena, with every step causing the ground to shake. Sakura would be watching along with the rest of the entire Genin who have arrived, with Gaara with specific interests. Neji would be standing there, a bit shaken, as he sees Naruto standing up, seeming like a giant. As Naruto looks down at this puny puny Hyuga, he would then tell Neji that he probably thinks he's much better than he is. Neji would stand his ground as he's still shaking, telling Naruto he's going to win. Naruto would laugh. Ha 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 ha. Who decided that? Naruto would say, as Neji feels a bead of sweat drop down his face. In fact, I don't even have to use half of my power on some weakling like you, Naruto would say, as his pride is flaring up as much as possible. Everyone in the arena is shocked as Naruto is declaring something such as that. What do you even mean, Neji would say, as he feels his body temperature raising to unreal levels. Naruto would simply stand there as he drops the great axe and tells Neji Hyuga, if you can pick up my axe, then you will win the match. Everyone would be shocked as Naruto concentrates his chakra into the axe. Neji would say that that's going to be easy, as even though it's bigger than him, it probably won't be that heavy anyway, as it looks like it's a two-wheel-handed axe. As Neji walks over, as he places his hands on it, he instantly pulls them back, screaming, "Ah!" as he then looks down at his hands, seeing that they're covered with burns. What the hell? He would think, as Neji then decides to grit his teeth and go through with it. Neji would grab onto the handle, feeling his skin burning, as he then lifts with all of his strength. It doesn't even budge. Naruto would laugh again as he says that the great axe Rita would never yield to some weak master like you. Neji would turn on Naruto as he decides that he's going to fight him right then and there. Neji would then activate the 64 palms, trigrams jutsu as he tries to hit Naruto's chakra points. Too late, Naruto would say. 12 o'clock. Exactly as noon hits, Naruto's power rises beyond out of control, as the entire arena begins to melt. He would simply take his hand onto Neji's head, as Neji feels his very brain beginning to melt almost, as all of his internal organs begin to feel immense heat. Neji would pass out from a heat stroke before Naruto can even touch him, as Neji now falls. The minute passes and everyone breathes a sigh of relief, as Naruto's heat drops back down to regular levels. Naruto would breathe out as he picks up his axe and wields it over his shoulder, closing his eyes as he walks out of the arena with utter victory. The winner is Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto would cheer for himself as he laughs, saying there was no way that Neji could have beaten him anyway. Neji would have been destroyed, as well as with Rock Lee being horrified at seeing such destruction. Naruto had gained a lot of power, as well as more pride over the last month. This is when Gaara and Sasuke's fight would take place. Gaara was going to prove that Naruto is nothing but hot air. As Gaara's sand shield blocks a Chidori, as Sasuke comes tumbling down the walls, piercing it at him. Gaara's fighting harder than he did in the original, as he wants to fight Naruto. Naruto would watch Sasuke's fight with interest, as he takes up 2 seats in the arena. Sakura would tell Naruto he did a good job, with him ignoring her as she is pretty useless, and he already acknowledges that, with him basically treating her like a man would treat an ant. Sakura would look annoyed again, as Naruto's watching Sasuke and Gaara's fight, watching their movements. Sasuke should win this, he would say, as Sasuke's power is growing, as he creates another Chidori, stabbing it at Gaara. This one cuts through, as Gaara loses control and begins to rage, becoming the Shukaku half-monster. This is what would interest Naruto, as he himself knows exactly what this feeling is like, to be taken control of by something else. Naruto would stand up as he then says that something's about to happen, as a genjutsu would then cover the entire arena. Damn genjutsu, he'd say. Naruto would then hold up his hand as he has one finger. Listen, he would say, as he creates a cruel sun, using his chakra to create a ball of heat. He would chuck it into the air, as he then melts the genjutsu before it can even land on the crowd. The genjutsu itself being erased by his heat, his flames erasing the chakra itself. Naruto would walk out as he then tells the Leaf Ninja that a sand shinobi has betrayed them, and that now they have to fight for their lives. Everyone in Konoha would be shocked, asking what he means, when Naruto would point towards the crowd, pointing directly towards the kage. You, he would say, are going to die. What? Suddenly Naruto would appear, as Sasuke and Gaara's fight has now exploded out of the arena, and all chaos has broken loose after they realized what was happening with that genjutsu, and how it had been cast on the Leaf Ninja. You're going down, Naruto would say, as he would laugh, saying that he'll even let him take a free hit on him. The kage, who now is not Orochimaru, but is a fake sound ninja who had been described as him, with everyone still looking for where Orochimaru was. Naruto killed him in one of the previous parts. Naruto would easily defeat this kage, as he simply slaps him on his face, causing him to go flying several meters to the left and de-transform. Now, about that sand monster, Naruto would say, as he floats back down to the ground. He would see Sasuke and Gaara have already left. That was rude of them to not wait for me. Well, I guess I'll have to catch up to them. Cruel sun. He would create a large cruel sun, as he then rides the ball of fire into the sky, almost like a god. We see Naruto riding over the heavens, as he looks down into the small trees itself, seeing Gaara and Sasuke. Well, Sasuke, he would say, as he then shouts, Sasuke, if you don't want to die, you'd better move. Sasuke would look up as he's shocked, seeing this ball of fire. He would immediately rush backwards as he starts trying to escape Gaara. Gaara would look up, not knowing what's going on, as his insanity has caused him to lose most mental focus. Cruel sun, Naruto would say, as he then shoots the sun he had been riding towards Gaara. Ah! Gaara would scream as he begins to feel all of his sand particles around him beginning to turn to glass, shattering and cutting his body. As he's knocked out from a heat stroke from the cruel sun, he then would wake up as Shukaku. Shukaku, the sand monster, began to rise, as Naruto would say he'll turn the sand monster to ashes. As Naruto would then begin to heat up Shukaku, his outsides as well as his innards begin to turn to glass, melting around the forest around them. It's time to finish you off, he would say. Sunshine! As Naruto summons Sunshine, his power, he would unlock it as he holds up the holy axe Rita. As he holds up his axe, he would charge all of his chakra into it, focusing it. He would then slash with his axe, cutting Shukaku in half, as Shukaku's entire body has been turned to glass almost by now. He would pick up Gaara as he sets him down on the ground, saying that could have gone bad. As Naruto would then walk away, telling Sasuke to take care of the leftovers. Naruto would get back to the Leaf Village as he helps deal with the immediate threat. A lot of the sand, as well as the sound shinobi, have all been trying to flee, as they can feel the heat drawing closer to them. Where are you going, shinobi? Of the sound and the sand? It's time for you both to feel the wrath of the sun. Naruto would say this, as he then appears before hundreds of shinobi trying to escape. You aren't going anywhere, he would say, as he would then do Flare Blitz. Naruto would then slash down with his axe, as beams of light would come blasting towards them, piercing them through their chests and other organs. They would all fall to the ground and begin to bleed as they die slowly. Naruto then walked towards where the Sound 4 and Kabuto are, and all 5 of them know they need to get out of there, and that the time for search for Orochimaru is over. And if Orochimaru or any of them stay there, they will die. Hiruzen in this time would survive. The third Hokage has survived his death threat from the original series, as Naruto's overwhelming strength and power, as well as his finesse of just the sunshine, has given him the edge over Orochimaru, who is still, deceased, but also may return some point, because curse marks. As Naruto would ask Hiruzen if he's alright, seeing that they were all trying to jump him, Hiruzen would thank him and say that his skin feels warmer than it ever has in years. Naruto would laugh as he tells him, Old man, that would be due to my tremendous and gracious power of sunshine. Naruto would say this as he laughs, holding his finger up to the sky, as they have completely wiped out the sound and sand shinobi, almost with a reverse of what had happened in the original, with Naruto just basically destroying everyone. Gaara would be sent back to the Sand Village, as well as after the misunderstanding had taken place with them being controlled by Orochimaru and his men. The Sand Ninja would apologize to the Leaf Village, as well as begin to work on amends. Naruto would be relaxing when suddenly a knock comes on his door as Shikamaru walks in. Oh? Naruto would ask, what's up? As Naruto's in his normal form as it's now evening. Well, I came to actually see if you were going to come with me to the Hokage's office. Why would I come there, Naruto would say, as he would then get up asking Shikamaru what's up. Shikamaru would tell him that he just should come with, as Naruto follows him, leaving his axe behind. As Shikamaru and Naruto get to the Hokage's office, the 3 Grand Elders of the Leaf Village, including Danzo and the 2 other elders, would then reward the 2 of them, saying that both of them had done incredibly well in the Chunin exams and were both being promoted to Chunin. Their Chunin vests would be given, with Naruto getting 2 sizes. One of them will be your daylight outfit, which is a ginormous vest of which had never been made proportional in the Leaf Village before, and also the one that he could wear at nighttime if he ever was on a night mission. Naruto would nod, saying thank you very much, as he'd take both of them, with one of them being ridiculously heavy as well, with so much material. Naruto would take it home and tell Shikamaru he'll see him later, as Shikamaru would wave, telling him congrats on becoming a Chunin. Naruto would laugh, saying congrats to you as well, with him getting home and closing his door. The next day, Jiraiya would come barging in as he tells Naruto that he has a mission that they're being sent to go on. A mission, huh? Naruto would say, as Jiraiya would nod, telling them that they're going to be looking for the 5th Hokage. Oh, and is this Hokage as strong as you, Jiraiya-sensei? Naruto would say as he looks down at Jiraiya. Jiraiya would hold his arms over his chest and tell Naruto that they're going to be leaving now. Naruto would laugh as he grabs his great axe and puts on his new Chunin vest, which fits him perfectly. Naruto would laugh as he tells Jiraiya he's actually been promoted Chunin, and Jiraiya would give him a congratulations, as Naruto would then walk out his door along with Jiraiya. As Naruto and Jiraiya would be leaving the village, Itachi Uchiha as well as Kisame would have invaded it, causing harm to Kakashi as well as Asuma and Kurenai. With Naruto unaware of the threat of the Akatsuki approaching him, Sasuke would begin to rush after Jiraiya as well as Naruto, who have now been going for maybe a day or two now. Luckily, however, the Akatsuki attacked during daytime, otherwise it could have been the end for Naruto. As Naruto's sitting in the hotel room, simply relaxing as he's enjoying the sun on his face, suddenly he would hear a knock at the door. "Who is it?" Naruto would say, as he then tells them they can open the door themselves. Suddenly, his eyes would flick over to the door, as Itachi Uchiha and Kisame would be standing there. "Ah, based on those robes, I see that you're trying to pose a threat to me," Naruto would say, as he stands up, telling them that if they really want to do this, they'll have to do it outside, as he doesn't want to ruin this beautiful hotel with their faces imprinted on the walls. Itachi and Kisame would laugh, as Kisame tells Itachi get a load of this guy, and asks how young he's supposed to be. "I'm actually around 12 years old," Naruto would say, as his body is extremely buff, with Naruto walking outside and jumping into the street below. Naruto would wave his hand with his great axe over his shoulder, telling them to come at him. Itachi and Kisame would then jump out of the window, as they then rush towards Naruto. Kisame would attempt to use a water shock bomb, and as he does so, just as it's about to approach Naruto, Naruto would look at it and says, "Who decided that you could attack me?" Immediately, the water that the shark is made of would then disintegrate and become steam. "What the? His body's so hot," Kisame would be thinking, no homo, as he then picks up his shark skin and decides he needs to steal some of his chakra. Immediately as he tries to slash at Naruto, Naruto deflects with his axe, which is filled with his chakra, and this would transfer some to Kisame's sword. What's going on?" he would say, as shark skin begins to literally sweat as it coughs, smoke coming out of it. "Ah, you tried to devour my great power, the endless array of sunshine. I'm afraid your little puny sword won't have anything against my great axe Rita." As he would then say this, he would slash at Itachi, who had just turned to crows and behind him. As Itachi decides he needs to take care of Naruto now, as that his genjutsu needs to be extremely powerful. Naruto would then be placed under the genjutsu, as he was not expecting it, and also would take it head on. Inside the genjutsu, Naruto would then look at Itachi, who would begin to do what he had done to Kakashi. "You think you can keep me imprisoned here?" Suddenly, the dark world of Itachi would begin to light up, as Naruto releases his sunshine. Inside of Itachi's mind, we see smoke coming out of his ears, as Itachi falls backwards, wondering what the heck was that. Naruto was so powerful that even inside of a genjutsu, he could overthrow the genjutsu cast. As Naruto throws Itachi like a ragdoll away, he would slash at Kisame, slashing the sword, Shark Skin, in half. Shark Skin would wail in pain, and as Kisame is shocked, saying he needs to get more chakra to recover it, as he charges all of his chakra into it to regenerate his sword. "Damn it. You'll pay for this. We'll get you soon. I promise that, Naruto. Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails," Kisame would say, as he grabs Itachi and attempts to run. "Ah ha ha," Naruto would say, as he holds up a cruel sun. "You two Akatsuki members aren't going anywhere." Naruto would appear in front of them now, as Kisame is trying to escape. "I can't leave. Everywhere we'll go, he'll be able to track us." Kisame is thinking this as Itachi isn't looking so good. "Now this is what my proposition is. I'll let one of you live. However, the one who dies in a fight between you two will be the one to suffer at your own hands, as I don't feel like getting your tainted rogue blood on mine." What? What did you say?" Kisame said. "I said, fight each other. Whichever one lives, I'll let off the hook." Itachi and Kisame would look at each other, shocked for a second, when suddenly Sasuke be coming from charging from behind. This would catch Naruto off guard, as he sees Sasuke screaming, "Brother!" as he runs towards Itachi with a Chidori. "This is my escape route," Itachi would think, as he grabs Kisame and uses his Kurojutsu to escape. "Sasuke, damn it!" Naruto would think, as it had distracted him long enough for them to escape. "Where'd he go?" Sasuke would think. "Well, this blunder will cost us in the future, I'm certain. However, it's fine. Are you alright, Sasuke? Why are you here?" Naruto would ask, as Sasuke would tell him that he heard about the two Akatsuki members coming to hunt Naruto down. And you were worried about that. Sasuke would think for a second, he then says, well, not really, but I don't want you to take Itachi. He's my prey. If you say so, I suppose I'll leave that one to you then. Naruto would walk away as he gets back to the hotel room, sitting down as if though nothing had happened. Jiraiya would come into the room a few minutes later, asking if anything was up, with Naruto saying he had a few pests he was exterminating. Naruto would then relax as he and Jiraiya would continue going on to the next town. As now we have finally made it to the next town, we see Kabuto, the few days before, had been trying to talk Tsunade into helping him revive Orochimaru. Yeah, there's no way that's happening, Tsunade would say, as she knows how dangerous Orochimaru is. And then she'd ask how he even got put down to begin with. We have no idea. However, we think it might have to do with this guy. He would hold up a photo of Naruto in his sunshine form, as Naruto was in the Forest of Death battling against Orochimaru. Oh, wait. Naruto, she would think, as suddenly she has a flashback, seeing a large buff man wearing the white Hokage's cloak, as we see him, Minato Namikaze, the previous wielder of Sunshine. She would then blink her eyes, saying he looks almost exactly like him, as Kabuto would nod, saying that indeed, he is the fourth Hokage's son, as well as him being one of the last surviving members of his fabled clan, from the only clan left surviving from the village hidden in the sun. Naruto would then look up as he sneezes, thinking someone must be thinking about him, as he never gets the chills. Naruto and Jiraiya would be walking to town now, as they walk into the bar, where they see Tsunade. Kabuto had left by this point, and as Tsunade and her assistant are sitting there drinking, Jiraiya would introduce Naruto to Tsunade. Tsunade would open her eyes as she recognizes him, and then being drunk, would start complaining about the third Hokage, and how he probably should have stopped the incident from the beginning, wondering how they even let Orochimaru get into that thing. Naruto would say nothing, as this doesn't even enrage him, as he agrees, saying the third Hokage is grown old and incompetent. Jiraiya would be shocked, as Naruto would say that's why I'm going to become the Hokage. You, the Hokage? She would think, laughing. Some brute like you could never be the Hokage. You'd be better off as some sort of assassin. Jiraiya would laugh as he says that such work in the shadows isn't meant for himself. He would then challenge Tsunade, asking if she wants to challenge his power. Tsunade would laugh, as Naruto would then shrink back down to his normal size. Naruto, who had realized what he'd said just before sunset, would be very scared, as he realized that he just challenged one of the legendary Sannin. I didn't mean that, he would say. That was my, just ignore that. Tsunade would laugh. She says that he can't take it back now, as if you all remember, Tsunade and Naruto fought in the dark. As Naruto steps outside, he can't even lift his axe anymore as it's too heavy for him. I guess I'll just have to fight with what I got. Naruto would create the Shadow Clone Jutsu, as he had learned it previously from Jiraiya. When trying to master control of the Kyuubi, he didn't want Naruto using Sunshine, and so he used the Shadow Clones in order to teach Naruto how to do it. Anyway, Naruto would use Shadow Clones as he tries to attack Tsunade, with him being severely weakened by not having the sun out anymore. Well, this is the kid who killed Orochimaru? Wait, what? Naruto would think, as he then remembers that, well, how would she know that? She wasn't there. The only people who were there were... He would remember Kabuto and realize that he was a traitor. Damn, I'll have to take care of that later, he would think. As suddenly he gets punched by Tsunade, getting knocked out. As Naruto, without Sunshine, doesn't have a chance really against Tsunade at this point, as his regular form without any of Kurama's chakra just isn't that powerful. Naruto would then wake up a few days later, with Tsunade offering to tell him that if she'll give him her Hokage necklace from the first Hokage, as long as he learns the Rasengan, the technique that had been made by the fourth Hokage. Little does Naruto know, she has her own benefit to gain by this, but Naruto would promise her that he'd begin training, as Naruto and Jiraiya would begin training to master the Rasengan.
Last time Naruto realized that Kabuto was a traitor, having told Tsunade that he had killed Orochimaru. That's right. You see, Naruto last time actually had accessed his full power by the day reaching its climax, that being 12 o'clock, high noon. At high noon, Naruto's power reached its climax, and unlocking Naruto's full power, giving him the strength and power necessary to use Divine Sword Naruto. Or Divine Sword Uzumaki, whatever you prefer. But the point is that Naruto used the Divine Sword ability of Sunshine in order to defeat and burn away Orochimaru, as well as basically nullify Sasuke's curse mark. So Sasuke and Orochimaru have nothing going on. Orochimaru's dead. Of course, there is still his other curse mark users like Jugo and Suigetsu, and those people who are still alive, who still have manifestations of Orochimaru's chakra, so there is ways for him to come back. But as for now, his entire corporeal form and his connection to Sasuke has been severed through the power of Sunshine and its holy light. Naruto at this point has now begun training with the Rasengan, and it's something that's been pretty slow going. Naruto with Jiraiya is able to create his own version of Rasengan fairly easily just using Sunshine. But as I mentioned in part 7 and part 6 prior, Jiraiya is trying to teach Naruto not to rely so much on Sunshine's power in order to learn how to master the Kyuubi. His worry is that Minato may have sealed the Kyuubi for now, but if Naruto refuses to let the Kyuubi's power begin to actually mix of his own, then Naruto will be unable to become a perfect Jinchuriki, the entire point of why Minato had sealed the Nine Tails in the first place. Naruto could only create flame-style Rasengans, something that Jiraiya himself was able to do. This is basically the result of Naruto having such a strong fire release, that being even to the level of Amaterasu through Sunshine. So naturally, of course, Naruto's Rasengans are going to be affected by fire release, because most of Naruto's chakra comes off as heat anyway. Naruto would have effectively perfected the Rasengan, although this isn't what Jiraiya was attempting to do. Minato himself was unable to ever mix any element properly with Rasengan, because of the centrifugal properties of the jutsu. Naruto is already used to controlling such mass amounts of power, and chakra itself wasn't nearly as hard to control as Sunshine, the ability. Naruto simply using heat and chakra could form a ball of flame, and compressing it would create the Rasengan. However, just without Sunshine, Jiraiya training Naruto at night, Naruto is too weak. Naruto's body had lost all of its strength when the sun wasn't out. Well, most of it. He was a scrawny little kid at nighttime, but during the day he was a bigger man than Jiraiya, with strength to be able to bend people in half. So naturally, Naruto felt pretty defenseless at night. Since Naruto could already do Rasengan, Jiraiya felt it was not necessary for him to have to perfect this weaker version of Rasengan for Tsunade anyway. And so he decided that he would teach Naruto a new jutsu, something that'd be more effective with this smaller, more agile form. Jiraiya himself could not do the jutsu, however he could instruct Naruto on how to do the jutsu, how to learn it. This being the flying Raijin technique, the signature movement teleportation jutsu of the 4th Hokage. Since you're already learning the Rasengan, I think you might as well learn his other jutsus as well. The flying Raijin. It's quite a difficult sealing jutsu, and considering your amount of chakra control, I imagine this sealing type jutsu is still far too advanced for you. However, if you are able to master this jutsu, even without the Kyuubi's power, while you're trapped in this form at night, without the power of Sunshine you'll be able and ready to be able to use this jutsu to defend yourself or to escape. If you can buy time until the sun rises, you should be fine, especially considering that your chakra reserves aren't necessarily a problem. You have a ton of vitality, it's just you lack the usage for it. Huh? Usage? I don't get it, Naruto would say. Jiraiya would sigh. Well, I suppose we'll continue training for the last couple days until Tsunade's deadline runs out. Even though you've already been able to master Rasengan fairly easily, just using Cruel Sun as the base model. Cruel Sun, which is Naruto or Escanor's signature ability, is compressing heat into a small miniature sun. It's effectively the same as Rasengan without the spinning motion. This spinning would actually cause a whirlwind of heat, mimicking the Rasengan. But Naruto wouldn't tell Tsunade that, of course. She hasn't battled him in his Sunshine form before. Because remember last time Naruto came into contact with Tsunade, she was blackout drunk and it was nighttime, at that bar. Naruto was in his weaker form, and so of course he wasn't able to handle Tsunade nearly as well as he could if he was in his Sunshine form. But now, things were different. Tsunade greeting Naruto in the daytime would be impressed and horrified at his change in stature and power. What happened to you? She'd be thinking. She of course had known Minato, that was Naruto's father, a Namikaze who had the same ability of Sunshine
the unique Kage that is passed down each generation, the ability to harness the power of the sun, and yet she had never seen Minato as a child having ever transformed into this form that Naruto was in. Of course, for those of you who know Seven Deadly Sins, there is a reason behind this, and that's because Naruto's body isn't exactly perfect match-wise with the power of sunshine, just like Escanor's wasn't. That's why his body buffs up and overflows with power when he accesses sunshine. Naruto is a Jinchuriki, and so naturally his chakra paths are both filled with the power of the Nine Tails, another supremely powerful force, and now sunshine, a regenerative, ever-growing pool of power. So naturally the two clash. Naruto and Kurama's chakra is just not quite palpable. Kurama's chakra being more animalistic and poisonous, far more demon-like, while sunshine, as you all know, is a heavenly ability. Basically, Naruto's big buff because his powers don't exactly mesh together very well. Old Lady Tsunade, I suppose it's time for our fight now, isn't it? Well, get ready, won't you? After all, as you can clearly see, I very much needed the power of the Rasengan in order to hold my own against you. Cocky brat, she'd think. Tsunade would show him a thing or two with her strength, as he has no idea how powerful her punches are. Jiraiya would announce the battle commencing as Tsunade throws a punch, a right hook to be specific, Naruto countering with his own right fist as the two fists collide, the two having an equal force, thus countering each other. Both fists would stand solid in the air, no airflow or any pushback on either side. He matched my power, Tsunade would think, before she suddenly begins to feel her elbow cracking. What? Naruto would suddenly have the muscles on his right shoulder buffing up, as he then grunts slightly as he forces just a bit more power into the punch, as he then forces Tsunade's arm to move back. Tsunade dodging back and quickly shifting out of the way of the punch, as Naruto's fist goes flying forward as he falls forward, hitting the ground. His fist now going straight into the dirt, as he rips his hand up, taking a large chunk of the ground with it. Tsunade is about to use a medical chakra blade, when Naruto then holds his finger up saying, "Ah, my turn. Kurulu Rasengan." Naruto summons the Rasengan, and in its flaming glory, the sun, the Kurulu sun, Rasengan style would spin in vortex. This spinning of heat would actually begin to cause the airwaves to change around, as a storm would begin to brew in the sky. Naruto's heat actually began to form tornadoes around him, this being an effect of the whirlwind of cool and hot air, causing storms. Effectively, Naruto using Kurulu Rasengan has a similar effect to how All Might's punches could change the weather in My Hero Academia, where he would be punching so hard, the air from the lower atmosphere would hit the higher, causing the air itself to spin, heat and cold, creating tornadoes and rain. Tsunade would stand back as she sees this almost godlike entity controlling the weather with a single attack, as Jiraiya would call it there before his love interest gets burnt to a crisp. However, an effect of Naruto creating the storm with his Kurulu Rasengan would also be that the sun would be blocked by the clouds, weakening him a little bit as he begins to shrink. As Jiraiya calls the match, Tsunade would run forward trying to get a sneak attack punch in, Naruto then quickly grabbing the Rasengan in his hand and thrusting it at Tsunade. Oh! Jiraiya would quickly use his Toad Sage Stomach, the same jutsu that he would use to have trapped Kisame and Itachi in the original, to protect Tsunade, forming a wall of flesh around her as Tsunade holds her fists up ready to intercept the blow. The Rasengan would cleave clean through the meat, actually causing it to sizzle from the heat as it then impacts Tsunade. Luckily, some of the heat and force was stopped by Jiraiya's wall, so Tsunade wasn't ripped in half. Tsunade would have severe burn marks on her arms, forcing her to use her 100 healings jutsu. Naruto would pump his fists, Tsunade obviously being defeated, Naruto proceeding to look up to Jiraiya saying, "Well, that's 2 of the Sannin I've defeated now. Well, Pervy Sage, you want to try your luck against me or what?" Naruto would say, grinning devilishly. This would cause Jiraiya to gulp as he then kindly says he'd rather pass. He is quite fond of the hairs on his arms, face, legs, pretty much everywhere not being singed off by Naruto. Naruto would sigh saying, "Your loss," as it would be if he thought. Naruto would turn as Jiraiya says, Hey, I heard that." Naruto would walk towards the now destroyed jutsu as he sees Tsunade on the ground, healing herself, but she'd be off as she's breathing heavily looking at her own arms. There'd be blood trailing down her arms, but there's nothing else. It was like she was stuck in some sort of trance. Naruto would knock her on the head a few times, asking, Hello? Anyone in there? And Tsunade looks up, finally now snapping out of it, as she had been seeing visions of her younger brother and Dan, her fiance. Tsunade would give Naruto the Hokage necklace, that being her grandfather, the first Hokage's necklace. Little did Naruto know that this would actually help seal the Nine Tails' power, something that Jiraiya had asked Tsunade and the village had asked her about many times beforehand. Tsunade, now having seen Naruto can handle himself without the Nine Tails' power, would hand over the necklace. This would eventually start sealing the Nine Tails chakra inside of Naruto. Tsunade would leave and Jiraiya would ask Naruto, what was that? What happened? And Naruto would explain to Jiraiya that when he had went over to check on Tsunade, she was in this weird state. Jiraiya, obviously knowing about her past as well as her fear of blood, would go check on her, as she would admit to Jiraiya that she had actually talked to Kabuto being representative for Orochimaru, in hopes that she would help revive him. Basically, he wanted her help as a fellow medical ninja to unseal one of the curse marks that Orochimaru had left behind, specifically the one inside of Jugo. Jiraiya, now considering this Kabuto to be a threat, would decide not to tell Naruto, hoping that Naruto himself hasn't realized yet that Kabuto from the Chunin exams had actually betrayed him. Knowing Naruto in his daylight form, he'd be so prideful that someone he had trusted had failed him that he'd have to go and kill him himself. Anyway, a couple days later, Tsunade would have been fully recovered after Naruto's Australia Gone Wild attack, and eventually they would go home, because Orochimaru's dead. So there is no legendary Sunning triple fight like there was in the original timeline, with Naruto fighting Kabuto and using their Rasengan and protecting Tsunade, blah blah blah. That never happens, because Naruto killed Orochimaru in the Forest of Death. So it's actually a pretty boring arc. So they just go home. Shizune, of course, accompanying Tsunade, sort of mad at Naruto that he had hurt her master in such a way. Her, like, wailing on his arms and stuff while they're walking. Naruto turning back and saying, I already said I'm sorry. What more do you want? Maybe you want matching scars to match your master, he'd say. No, I'll pass, Shizune would wisely say. Good decision. Naruto would continue walking. Naruto in this version would be swinging his axe, the weapon I told you that Jiraiya and him had custom made from that chakra absorbing material, the same metal that Asuma's knives were created out of, that Naruto would be swinging back and forth by now. Naruto would notice that it was significantly lighter. Naruto, unconsciously, would be having more ability to use sunshine, his body less grotesque, looking less monster-like, as he looks to be more of a normal size, even similar in height to Jiraiya now, who himself is still a pretty large man. Naruto's sunshine power wouldn't have weakened. No, it was becoming more perfected. This is because the Nine Tails chakra is being sealed by Hashirama Senju's necklace, the chakra that was interfering with Sunshine's flow and ability. Of course, even without the Nine Tails insurrection between Naruto's chakra, he still would never be able to attain 100% power in terms of Sunshine, because Naruto isn't a pure Namikaze. Naruto is 50% Uzumaki, which provides him more chakra, but doesn't give him any more ability to utilize Sunshine. All it does is give him more stamina and vitality, which is good in this case because it allows his body to take more damage from Sunshine, something that would eventually have killed Escanor in the original timeline. Anyway, after that Bath filler arc that happened, that nobody ever remembers, Naruto, along with the rest of Tsunade's group, would make it back to the Leaf Village, with them immediately heading towards the hospital where Kakashi and the others would have been injured by the attack of the Akatsuki that happened earlier, where Naruto pretty much wiped the floor with the Akatsuki.
Are you the guy who says you hate overpowered characters who just fuck up power scaling?
No, what are you talking about? No, I love overpowered lists. They're the best. They're not stupid and just a waste of everyone's time where you watch the same exact shit thousands of times over and over again. Come on. Come on. Naruto, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Shizune, along with that one pig that has more screen time than Tenten, would make it back to the Leaf Village, with Tsunade now there to heal those who had remained, that being Kakashi and Guy and, the other Jonin who got attacked by Itachi and Kisame. This time, the third Hokage, Hiruzen, was not killed, so she isn't really there to be the next Hokage. So Hiruzen would just thank Naruto and Jiraiya for going out and retrieving her as the Tsunade retrieval arc ends. From here, we're going to be going into Shippuden. because there is no Sasuke retrieval arc. Like, there is no curse mark. I mean, sure, they could come get him anyway, but there's no Orochimaru to train him, so what's the point in Sasuke going with these random weaklings that even Genin could beat? Like, Choji and Shikamaru could clap. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to end it off here. We'll probably be going into a time skip directly into Shippuden with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all as either Jonin or Naruto having left on his 3 years journey. I'll decide probably next part.
And I decided. Welcome back to the future. This is the final part for What If Naruto Had Sunshine, part 9, I guess the finale if you'd consider it that way. But continuing from where the last part left off, I was just contemplating on if I wanted to send Naruto and Sasuke or vice versa on a 3-year mission to train and get stronger, even though Sasuke never had the curse mark and was never being trained by Orochimaru in this timeline. So to answer the question I was asking myself before, no, I will not be sending Naruto on the 3-year training with Jiraiya, which results in Jiraiya and Naruto being far less close to each other than they would have been in the actual canon. Instead, Sasuke would be training with Kakashi, Sakura would be training with Tsunade, who has decided to stay in the village, might I add, and Naruto is just kind of there, slowly becoming a Jonin and taking on missions. Since he's already plenty strong, being able to take out Orochimaru, someone at the level of a Sannin, during the 3 years some interesting things would happen. Notably, the third Hokage would step down from his reign, finally, thank God. And both Naruto and Tsunade would try and nominate themselves as candidates alongside Danzo, with the village unanimously deciding that it should be Tsunade to be the next Hokage. This would cause both Danzo and Naruto to be frustrated, since they both think that they are the only one fit to be the next Hokage. And Sakura would congratulate her teacher for what she had accomplished. Naruto would become a Jonin in only a year and a half, taking on full-on missions by himself, and even gaining his own epithet, some notoriety, with his own epithet being similar to that of the Yellow Flash, Naruto's epithet being the Rising Sun. Just like the Yellow Flash who has atoned for his speed and strength, this Rising Sun would be more well known for his unrelenting power, strength, and the feeling his comrades would get when he arrived, like a new day had just come and that they were saved. Think your first night surviving a Minecraft hardcore world. Anyway, Naruto would have his own epithet, he'd be a Jonin now, so by the time Jiraiya returns, he'd simply welcome him back, calling him Master Jiraiya instead of Pervy Sage in this timeline, which in a way is a little sad, because Jiraiya and Naruto's bond is one of the most fun things about all of Naruto, so it does kind of suck that that's gone. There would be no bell test, because why would there be? All of Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto have been in the village the entire time, so Kakashi and Tsunade have seen how strong they all are. There's simply no need for 3 Jonin to attack Kakashi and brutalize him like that. Just think that scene from all the memes you see where we see a Susanoo Sasuke, Baramo Naruto, and 100 healing Sakura just dashing at Kakashi. Yeah, we don't need to kill the copy ninja here, okay? So instead, life would be dream, that is, until the next week, when a letter comes in flown by Crow from the Land of Wind, that announcing that the new Kaze Kage has just been kidnapped, and the tailed beast is probably being extracted from the Akatsuki. Oh, those ruffians in the red robes, right? If Sasuke here hadn't shown up at that hotel the time he did, 2 of them would be dead by now. Sasuke would just sigh. Well, Naruto, if you had killed Itachi, I don't think I could have ever forgiven you. So I am glad I showed up. Oh, and why is that, Sasuke? Well, of course, because I want to have the honor of killing him myself. Big words for someone who can't even complete that jutsu. Sasuke throws his hand to the side saying that the Chidori is close to completion. He's still working on it, with Kakashi putting a hand on his shoulder telling him to calm down. That's right, Sasuke over the 3 years has been training hard every day and night with Kakashi, trying to get stronger, even managing to begin learning the fundamentals for how to make Kirin. And yet he still has not perfected the main weakness of the Chidori, its tunnel-blinding vision. Sasuke has been training day and night just to try and complete this jutsu, with him hoping to even create more jutsu based off of it, and slowly coming to an understanding about the true potential behind the Chidori that Kakashi has passed on to him. Anyway, while Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura be bickering, Naruto would grab the mission request, leaping out the window and using a cruel sun with his great axe Rita as he flies off into the distance, with Tsunade yelling "Hey!" as Naruto would ignore her, flying towards the Land of Wind himself, saying he'll take care of this. letting the small fry handle the annoying bits. And so Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke would then venture on their own, trying to catch up to Naruto, who had arrived there a day and a half earlier. Remember, it takes normally 3 days and 3 nights from the Leaf Village to arrive at the Sand Village, if you're moving at top speed and don't have, inclement weather and the such. Anyway, speaking of weather, it's clear skies today because the sun has just arrived at the Land of Wind and into the Sand Village. Naruto would enter the hospital where Kankuro is still conscious, just barely because the poison hasn't reached all through his body yet, and would ask where the assailants had gone, demanding to know where the Kazekage had been taken. Kankuro would cough up blood, pointing out the window to Naruto, saying he should still be able to find some footprints out there, directing him into the dunes leading away from the village. Naruto would nod, putting his hand on Kankuro, saying that help will arrive shortly, as he then leaps out the window again from the hospital, flying off in the distance with a heat wave crashing behind him and the citizens wondering what the heck that was. Naruto would arrive at the front of the boulder, laughing as he asks if they really think a puny boulder like this can stop me. Naruto would pull back his fist, throwing a punch into the rock, pulling his hand back as he then turns, throwing the rock into the sky as it then vanishes into the distance. Back from Sasuke's point of view, we can see as a huge rock goes flying over them, crashing into the sand and causing the sand to shake, with a quick sandstorm picking up from all the wind, would force the incomplete Team 7 into hiding from the sandstorm. Kakashi wondering what the heck that was. Back in the cave, we see Naruto walking in as the golden light enshrouding his body would light up the cave around him. There he would see the Akatsuki, all 10 of them, as they are surrounding this strange statue, trying to pull Gaara's essence into it. This is when they would suddenly see Naruto, as they would be forced to stop the ritual with Naruto tossing a cruel sun at the statue. This is when the rest of the Akatsuki would quickly reverse summon the Geromato statue, disappearing with it and only having snapped half of the one-tails. Sasori and Deidara would scoff as they then jump to the side, as Gaara would cough up sand, pulling himself as he feels his knees shaking, feeling something different, as if though the tailed beast inside of him had been shrinking. Deidara and Sasori would double-team Naruto, laughing as they say that he matches the description of the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki and they must be lucky. Naruto would laugh as Deidara's clay dragon comes flying at him, as he then smirks, saying, "Oh no, my two Akatsuki friends? It's quite the opposite." With one hand, Naruto would catch the clay dragon, the other he'd turn, holding up a massive sun as he sits it at the door, leaving it sitting in the air and beginning to superheat the cave, blocking any of them from escaping. Gaara would be sweating as he watches Naruto in a 1v2 fight, with Deidara tossing explosions that just brush off his skin. Naruto would chuckle, saying that this level of heat is nothing, as he throws a punch at Deidara, smacking him in the face and sending him crashing into the stone of the cave beginning to collapse from the attack. Deidara would laugh as he says art is truly an explosion, trying to use his C4 to kill everyone in the cave, Gaara and Naruto. But Naruto would stop him, seemingly appearing in front of him as he holds up his great axe Rita and slicing it down, covering it with the power of sunshine, as Deidara would burst into flames, melting like a broken wax candle, as Deidara would vanish, being completely erased from Naruto's sunshine. Sasori would look at his muscly back as he then feels fear for the first time, his 100 puppets turning into ash one by one, until even the 2 puppets that his parents had made were completely turned to cinders. Naruto would spare no time in destroying Sasori, not even waiting to hear about his meeting with his spy in Orochimaru's organization. He would just hold up his hand as he then reaches forward, burning the heart canister in Sasori's true form, melting it as Sasori and Deidara are both dead. Gaara would be visibly shaken as Naruto then turns back, pointing towards the entrance and destroying the sun that he had left there, absorbing it back into his body as the cave would begin to cool down, the stones that were red hot in the entrance beginning to steam from the sudden addition of cold air, the steam turning the cave into a sort of sauna. Naruto would turn to Gaara laughing as he says, "So it's true, you really did become a kage before I did. So your village understands. Mine's full of fools. When Lord Third stepped down, I graciously offered them to take his place, and for some reason they said I wasn't qualified. Oh well." Naruto would put his hand down, pulling Gaara up, as he had tucks Gaara's shoulder over his own, carrying him like a little rag doll. By the time Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke arrive at the village, Gaara would be sipping tea, sitting next to Kankuro, who had been poisoned, and as Sakura walks in the door, Naruto would tell her to heal Kankuro, with her trying to yell and punch Naruto, which would just do nothing, as her hand would visibly hurt with its swelling. she'd sigh saying fine, as she was going to do that anyway, using her healing ability to fix Kankuro, with Gaara thanking her. Everyone asking what happened, with Gaara explaining how Naruto had saved him and what he remembers from his ordeal with the Akatsuki. Because of this, Granny Chiho and the others wouldn't never really be introduced, with Granny Chiho just being a background character that had helped on maintaining Kankuro from dying. And that's an end to the Kazekage retrieval arc. Naruto single-handedly acing it and deleting 2 Akatsuki members. Ordinarily, after this would be the Sasuke Retrieval Arc Part 2 that we see from the very beginning of Shippuden and also the second arc of the series. But Sasuke is here, so that doesn't happen. Instead, we have a chill little slice of life arc, which I don't know if it's just me, but I love those arcs in Naruto. I know they're filler, but just seeing the characters interact and be normal human beings is kind of cool. Not in Boruto, because they've done it too much now, and it's kind of weird. But in Naruto, when we get those little scenes like the bathhouse scenes or them going out to get food together, I loved that. Anyway, everything stays the same until the Kakuzu and Hidan arc, where Asuma would still die because Naruto's not really present in this. Shikamaru becomes the main character for a while, and while they are having their ordeal of Kakashi taking point as captain, Naruto would just kind of be vibing still in his slice of life arc, you know what I mean? Sasuke, on the other hand, would be training with Yamato and Kakashi, Yamato having been introduced to Sasuke as being an Anbu Black Ops member, with Kakashi offering Yamato's help as his subordinate to help Sasuke in visualizing this dragon that he's trying to make, with them both working together, as instead of the Rasen Shuriken being made, it is Kirin being perfected, with Sasuke showing up at the battlefield using Kirin against the enemy Kakuzu and frying him with lightning style, destroying his cells with the thunderclap. Well, now that the Kakuzu and Hidan arc is over, it's time for Sunshine Naruto to move on into its next phase, that being the Pain arc. Jiraiya still would be going off on his own to the land of rain, where there is no sun, and just like in every timeline, would meet his own fate, sinking beneath the waves, never to be seen. Yes, Gashin Koji, never to be seen again. Anyway, the news would quickly come to Naruto and Tsunade, but because Naruto did not go on the 3 years training mission with Jiraiya, there is no personal bond for Jiraiya to fall back on there, so instead he would leave a message directed at Tsunade, using her bust sizes for various times throughout his life where he and her had interacted underneath the third Hokage as students, to give page numbers for his book Makeout Tactics. This would be how he spells out the tattoo on Pa, indicating that the real one is not among them, trying to give a hint that the true body among the Pains is not there. This overconfident Naruto, due to his sunshine and his pride, would say that he'll probably easily take out the opponents who took care of Jiraiya so quickly, declining the offer to train in learning Sage Mode from Pa, and offering that Sasuke can go instead, since Sasuke still wants to get stronger in order to take down his older brother Itachi. Sasuke would turn asking if he's really alright with this, with Naruto nodding, as Sasuke on his other hand, instead of having a falcon or a snake in this timeline, would also become a Toad Sage Summoner. And with this, Sasuke would be sent to the Toad Mountain, where he would begin training in Sage Mode. Suddenly, Ma would come charging into Sasuke and Pa's training area, telling Sasuke he needs to go back to the village now, saying that the entire Leaf Village has been destroyed. It's been destroyed, but how? Naruto's there, isn't he? Ma would explain that Naruto and Pain's battle is actually destroying the landscape, and so Sasuke would reverse summon himself alongside the other Toads with that cool pose, with this version of Sasuke having a blue sage cloak. Basically the opposite of Naruto's red one in the original. When he arrives, he would see that Naruto had already taken down 3 of the paths of pain, with the melted bodies of the other paths having the chakra rods falling out of them so they're unusable. Sasuke would come in to help Naruto taking down the Diva Path. The Diva Path using its almighty push and Shinra Tensei to actually damage Naruto. Naruto getting launched around the village and slamming into the ground only to get back up, brushing himself off as he says, "Who decided that?" Slashing with the Great Axe Rita, and cutting through another pain. This version of Naruto would actually be terrifying Konan and Nagato, with him being such a tank that they haven't had the chance to even awaken the Ninetales in him. So there's nothing for them to steal. And this Naruto is as strong and fast, if not more so, than even Minato, the 4th Hokage. Naruto would bring down a cruel sun, using it and throwing it down to Pain. Pain would use all of his power and almighty push, and at the exact moment, Sasuke would charge in using a Sage Mode Kirin. Because Sasuke can use Sage Mode now, and has access to nature energy, he now is a perfect Sage, meaning that he can manipulate Kirin easily. since he has control over nature energy, which is what he had to use in order to actually make Kurama in the first place. Essentially, Sasuke can pull a Kurama out instantly, because he doesn't need to summon the rain clouds and the storms in order to actually make the dragon. So yeah, Pain's just been eviscerated by a huge Kurama. Now that all the paths have been defeated, Sasuke would pick up one of those chakra rods that I mentioned earlier, using Sage Mode as he closes his eyes with his 3 Tomoe Sharingan, sensing Pain's location, telling Naruto to wait here as he feels that this might be for the best. Already imagining that as soon as they walk in, Naruto would just completely melt whoever's in there. Sasuke would open the canopy of the tree, walking inside as he sees Nagato and Konan, the three having a discussion about the cycle of hatred, and Sasuke clearly realizing that he has currently been in this cycle against Itachi. Sasuke would ask Nagato what he means, and asking why he should just let someone like Itachi get away with what he had done, with the sins he had committed against his clan. Genuinely asking him about what he meant by how to end this cycle. Pain would mention how he was hoping to take the tailed beast, using them to threaten the villages into working together, and Sasuke would quickly correct his plan, saying that would only work so long as he was alive, saying that the moment that Nagato died, since no one's immortal, means that the villages would just go back to their old ways, especially after being ruled under an era of fear for, 50, 60, 70 more years? Nagato and Sasuke would be having this interesting back and forth when Naruto would walk in, following Sasuke from behind, thinking and saying out loud, "This is taking too long. You followed me here?" Konan and Nagato would look a little pale seeing Naruto, Nagato experiencing the pain from each of his puppets, so Naruto had melted him 3 or 4 times now. Eventually, Sasuke had promised that he would find a way to end the cycle of hatred his own way, saying that this isn't the right path, that threatening all of the entire world into submission will only work for so long, saying to give him some time and that he'll handle it. Then he'd smirk, saying that if it turns out he was right, then he'll just use this guy, pointing behind him, as his tailed beast instead. Naruto would cross his arms asking what he's talking about, with Nagato and Konan agreeing with Sasuke, and Nagato choosing to use the Rinne Rebirth Jutsu, bringing back all those who had died from the attack, and dying himself, his hair turning white, and his body being taken by Konan. After this, the 5 Kage Summon would happen, and in this timeline, I see Naruto forcing his way into the Hokage seat instead of Danzo. With Tsunade being down for the count for his stamina, no one is really strong enough to oppose Naruto here. Even if Danzo did put outward confrontation, let's be honest, Naruto would just either say who decided that and just out-chat him, or force his way. And so, begrudgingly, Yamato and Kakashi would be chosen as the Hokage's guards, with Naruto being the supplementary Hokage for Tsunade at the 5 Kage Summit. This time, the summit would have been called because Itachi and Kisame had attacked and actually taken out Killer Bee, because they're a bit stronger than Sasuke and his Taka team from the original. The 4th Hokage being pissed at the Leaf for their rogue shinobi having taken his Jinchuriki from him, basically. And now Naruto would head to the Land of Iron with his 2 associates, as he would present himself as the 6th Hokage. As he enters, with Mifune taking everyone's weapons, sitting down, even holding his Great Axe Rita as it falls to the ground, with Mifune being too weak to hold it, Naruto would laugh, saying it's no problem as he takes his seat. With his large stature, it would look like he was sitting in a toddler's chair, squeezing his cheeks into it. The Raikage would ask who this is, with him recognizing the form, wondering if this is actually the 4th Hokage. With him looking so distinct due to sunshine, Naruto would laugh out in a boisterous laugh, with him responding, saying that no, he's the 6th Hokage, Uzumaki Naruto. Yamato and Kakashi would facepalm, with the Raikage straight up believing him, because he can already tell from his appearance alone, as all the other older Kage can, that this must be the son of the Yellow Flash. Because who else has that natty genetics like that? Look at him. His biceps are as big as Gaara's entire body, okay? Anyway, the summit would not be interrupted, that is, until Itachi and Kisame show up, with Obito instructing them to cause a distraction so that he can proclaim war against the Kage. Naruto would immediately go after Kisame and Itachi, saying he'll finish the job, as he summons his Great Axe Rita flying to his hand and slashes down at the executioner's blade that Kisame is wielding. Kisame had gone after it after his shark skin had been destroyed by Naruto, so now he's using this slightly, significantly worse blade. Naruto's Great Axe Rita would cause sparks to fly off the executioner's blade, as Naruto and Kisame are now clashing blades, With Naruto now moving out of the building, with him, Itachi, and Kisame in a 2 versus 1 fight, Itachi using his Susanoo and Amaterasu on Naruto, Naruto would simply blow out the Amaterasu off his body like he was blowing out candles on a birthday cake. As Kisame is getting overrun by Naruto, he'd hold up his hand, creating a Cruel Sun, slashing down with his Great Axe Rita, as the enhanced heat on his blade would create a meteor-like effect, crushing the Executioner's blade and cutting it in half, with Kisame thinking, not again, as he gets cut straight through down the middle. Kisame being killed by Naruto. Itachi would start coughing up blood as he feels himself fading, with his life now on the line, as he feels himself about to die, wondering if he's really never going to get to see Sasuke again. As Naruto's prepared to finish off Itachi using another Cruel Sun, the Susanoo beginning to melt, Madara would arrive, his orange mask ticking off Naruto, asking why he hides his face as he throws it at the 2 Akatsuki members. Obito would quickly use Kamui alongside Itachi, with both of them being pulled into the Kamui dimension, the last remaining survivors from the Akatsuki being Itachi and Obito. With him having let Itachi go again, Naruto would be pretty pissed. Heading back to the 5 Kage-sama and asking why they couldn't take out one measly little small fry, referring to Madara Uchiha. The Raikage would get pissed, trying to throw a punch at Naruto, and the other Kage would also be bickering, with Naruto catching his fist with one hand easily. Immediately we see Kakashi and Obito holding kunai against the Raikage's neck, and then the Raikage's guards are also doing the same, with Mifune asking everyone to calm down. Naruto would toss the broken Executioner's blade onto the table, saying he already took out one of the Akatsuki. Naruto would then put his feet on the table, crossing his legs, as he then asks, by the way, how many members of the Akatsuki did the rest of you Kage take out? All of the Kage would be ashamed, including the Raikage. Onoki would be pissed at this youngster's rambunctiousness and how disrespectful he is. Naruto would just laugh, saying who really decided that they were worthy of sharing the same title as him. With the 4th Great Shinobi War being announced, Naruto would say he'll get the village prepared for war, as he stands up, grabbing the Great Axe Rita and walking out, with Kakashi and Yamato following behind him, completely owning the other Kage. Gaara would sigh, saying he's always been like this, as he also would leave, saying he must prepare for the war as well, as all of the Kage would begin mobilizing for the 4th Great Shinobi War. When Tsunade hears the report from Kakashi, she would say, "You did what?" Naruto would simply scoff, saying that those Kage know nothing of true strength, saying that if she had been there, she probably would have done a better job at holding back that Akatsuki member than any of them. And then we wouldn't even be getting into this war mess. When the war begins, the Raikage would be confused that Naruto actually isn't the Hokage, with Tsunade explaining that he's actually her Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and that he was standing in after she had been attacked earlier by another Akatsuki member against the Leaf Village. The Raikage would try to imprison Naruto on the Turtle Island, where he would have originally mastered the Nine-Tails chakra, but due to Killer Bee being dead and Naruto refusing in this timeline, that's not happening. Naruto would laugh, saying that if he can make him go there, then he'll sit on that island for the whole war. Naruto would point at the Raikage, holding his axe over his shoulder, saying that if he makes him sit out of this war, then they're definitely going to lose. Basically, Naruto would push his will through, being placed on the battlefield with Gaara, who says he will watch him, with Gaara promising to try and hold Naruto back as much as possible. Onoki would be ticked, not wanting to be near this guy, complaining about him the entire time as the war begins, with a army of white Zetsu appearing across the globe and attacking different shinobi groups at random. Mixed within these white Zetsu would be reanimated shinobi. Everyone will be wondering what's going on, as it's revealed that Kabuto, after Orochimaru's death, has started working with all of Orochimaru's resources underneath the Akatsuki, with Obito currently being the boss of the Taka, as well as Kabuto, with the former Taka, Suigetsu, Karin, Jugo, and what originally would have been Sasuke, would instead have the 4 members of Kabuto, being Sasuke's replacement, all donning Akatsuki cloaks and replacing the old Akatsuki. Kabuto using his reanimation jutsu to revive the actual Akatsuki, and Itachi is sitting with Kabuto, basically placed by Obito as a sign saying that if you mess with me, then I'll sick him on you. Like Itachi is his pit bull or something. Anyway, the war begins, and everything starts playing out as normal until the real Madara arrives. This Madara begins decimating the Shinobi Alliance. As he's running through, cutting down Shinobi left and right, suddenly Madara would feel a strange chill all over his skin, as he turns around, seeing a huge golden axe flying straight for his cranium. He'd barely dodge in time using his Sharingan to predict it, as he leans back, his head barely being scratched by the blade. Madara would stand up laughing, asking who's there, sensing someone actually strong. Naruto would spread the crowd like the Red Sea, as Madara and Naruto stare each other down. Naruto would point his finger towards Madara, saying that he'll take him on, as Madara wouldn't even expect it. Suddenly we would see Madara's stomach implode outwards towards Naruto as the golden axe Rita comes crashing back through, retracting to Naruto's hand. Madara would cough up blood as his body naturally begins to heal, as Naruto lunges forward, trying to cut off Madara's head with the axe. As Naruto is taking on Madara alone in a 1v1, Gaara would order the remaining shinobi to circle around Naruto and Madara, locking them in so Madara can't escape. And let me tell you, it was like Mike Tyson versus Larry Holmes. Naruto would be beating his fist into Madara, breaking the bones in his face, as Madara is completely overwhelmed by the strength and speed of this man. He'd be forced to summon the Susanoo, blocking one of Naruto's punches as he slashes down the sword, Naruto holding up his axe and blocking the sword. Even with that massive size difference, he'd reflect the attack, pushing the sword and arm of the Susanoo back as he then cuts the arm of the Susanoo off. Madara would laugh, saying finally someone who can challenge him, reminding him of the days of Hashirama. Madara would then unveil his full power, activating his Rinnegan, and then using his power of Wood Style that he has inherited from Kabuto's enhancements, with Hashirama's face on his chest. Wood Style, Deep Forest Jutsu. Naruto would laugh as the massive force is now expanding against him and the Shinobi Alliance as he pulls his hand back, saying, "A forest is nothing compared to a wildfire. Face me, Madara. Let's see which one of us is truly the legend." Cruel sun. An orb of massive proportions would appear above Naruto's hand, as if though the sun itself has descended. Naruto would have this spirit bomb of a sun, using the massive cruel sun as he slashes out of his axe, the sun melting through the wood and burning it away, as Wood Style is overpowered by sunshine, crashing into Madara and completely eviscerating him, melting the cells of his body in a way that they can't even recover, completely destroying him. The cruel sun of sunshine would turn Madara's body into ash, and then melting that into nothing, completely destroying all of his cells. Like a goddamn Kamehameha. This was only made possible because Onuki and Gaara were holding off the other Tsuchikage, the former one who taught him how to use his powers, that being Mu. And the moment that Madara is eviscerated from this world, his soul being sent back, Kabuto would be terrified. The reanimation jutsu is supposedly supposed to be a perfect jutsu that creates immortal bodies, but Naruto just killed an immortal, essentially. Naruto would laugh as Obito would now be forced to continue with his plan, with Madara being taken out of the picture. He would summon the Geromazu statue at Choji's location using Kinkaku and Ginkaku's Kurama's chakra in order to reignite the Ten Tails. This Ten Tails would still be far stronger than the original one because Killer Bee is dead, so the full 8 Tails has been absorbed already. Needless to say, Obito would take no time wasted in beginning to make the infinite Tsukuyomi. Everyone would look up as the sky begins to turn a deep red. Meanwhile, back by Kabuto and Itachi, Sasuke would arrive alongside Kakashi, with Itachi having sent a crow to Sasuke himself, telling him where he was at and challenging him to a battle. Sasuke would be taking on Itachi while Kakashi takes on Kabuto, basically a rematch from part 1, where we saw Kabuto versus Kakashi that first time in the hospital, and now we saw Itachi versus Sasuke. This time Sasuke with Sage Mode and a 3 Tomoe Sharingan would be an even match for a sick, weakened Mangekyo Itachi. As Sasuke's about to deal the finishing blow, he would remember Nagato's words, stopping his blade as he's about to bring his hand down and crash with Kirin, as he then holds his hand out telling Itachi that if he's willing to turn back, he's willing to hear him out on why he did what he did to their father and mother. Itachi would call him a fool as he tries to use Amaterasu, but it'd be too late as he feels himself fading away as he laughs, saying that he couldn't manipulate Sasuke to being that way after all. Sasuke would be confused, asking what he means, as Itachi would simply smile, flicking Sasuke's forehead one last time as he sees his younger brother has gone down a different path than what he had set before him, actually fulfilling the words of what Itachi had heard him say. Sasuke would turn back, seeing Kakashi struggling against Kabuto as he raises his hand down, bringing down the thunder and killing Kabuto. Even with his Snake Sage Mode, Toad versus Snake Sage Mode would be no match with Sasuke's perfected Sage Mode. Sasuke would experience a power-up as he awakens his Mangekyo Sharingan from Itachi's death, the amount of emotion overcoming him from seeing his goal finally being accomplished, while also feeling a twinge of sadness after what he had promised Nagato. A part of Sasuke wondered if there was a world where Itachi would have never gone bad. wondering what life would have been like there for him and his brother together. Luckily, Itachi had planned for Sasuke and Kakashi to kill Kabuto. Before him dying, he would use his Mangekyo with a crow that he had left before he died, using the last of his power to undo the ability with Shisui's eye, forcing Kabuto to unwind the reanimation jutsu before his passing. After this, Sasuke and Kakashi return to the battlefield, where they find the Ten Tails being battled against by Naruto and Gaara. The other Kage would have arrived as well, with Raikage and Tsunade throwing big punches, but basically being like toddlers throwing punches and kicks compared to Naruto. Naruto would have actually ripped off 2 of the tails, cutting them off of his axe, as there would be burn marks all over the beast. Eventually, Obito would absorb the Ten Tails himself, turning to the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, as he begins overpowering Naruto, single-handedly. This is when Sasuke steps in using Seijuan and his newly awakened Mangekyo, as he creates an Amaterasu on the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Sasuke would smirk looking at his friend, as Naruto, who's almost battle damaged by this point for the first time, his regeneration not keeping up, asks Sasuke to keep him busy. Sakura would arrive at the battlefield healing Naruto, as Naruto looks upwards at the sky, his power rising with the sun, as the battle is taking place earlier since Madara was defeated so early in the war. Sasuke and the rest of the Konoha 11 be holding off the Ten Tails, with Sasuke using his Mangekyo ability against Obito, the 2 Uchiha having a battle of strength and wit. Kakashi would be using Kamui alongside Sasuke, the Team 7 of Sakura, Kakashi, and Sasuke holding off the Ten Tails until Naruto arrives. Naruto, now completely condensing his power, would say it's over as he appears behind Obito, his form even more muscly than usual, his eyes glowing with blue and red energy, as he has now entered into the state of the One, his ultimate peak of power. The Nine Tails would be screeching inside Naruto that it's hot, it burns, as he's basically jumping up and down, the water inside Naruto's seal boiling. Naruto would bring down his fist, as he then says, "Divine Sword, Naruto." Even with the resistance to ninjutsu and everything that comes with being the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, Obito would be cut in half. Obito would be shocked, wondering what the hell this is, having never seen Minato using the One state before, his sensei having never revealed this power in front of him. Naruto would walk away saying it's over as Black Zetsu appears, absorbing the now corpse of the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Black Zetsu would use the body of Obito, reviving Kaguya Otsutsuki, as Kaguya would stab Naruto from behind with a chakra rod. The bone ash killing rod, actually. The bone ash through his arm would begin to kill him, obviously, as the ash would begin to rot his arm away. Before it can reach his main body, Naruto with a quick slash of his axe would sever off his right arm, as he begins to bleed out. This is when Kage would begin to overpower Sasuke and Naruto, with Sasuke, Sage Mode, and his Mangekyo just not being enough. They'd be throwing everything they have at this thing, with Kaguya overpowering them easily. Kakashi would be forced to step in, and this time he doesn't have dual Mangekyo Sharingan because him and Obito never made up and never had that bonding moment. So while Sakura and Tsunade are desperately trying to heal Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto and Sasuke would fade into the dream world as they see a man standing in their consciousness. The man claiming to be the Sage of Six Paths, Hagoromo Otsutsuki. He would tell the two about the brothers' past of Indra and Asura, saying that the cycle of hatred between them has already been refuted. Hagoromo would be concerned, saying that something was different this time. With the other prior reincarnation cycles, it was never like this. It's like something was messing with... Shh. Just leave it alone. I'll give them the power, so I can finish off this story. Oh, what was he saying? Oh, yeah. Asura, the younger, and Indra, the older one. He would give Sasuke and Naruto their respective power, with both of them having the Sun and Moon seals they take on his mother, Kaguya Otsutsuki. The Sun seal would actually help Naruto's arm regenerate, as he begins growing back an arm from the power of the Sage of Six Paths. Sasuke and Naruto would battle Kaguya, with them being sent to different dimensions. With both of them being frozen in ice, Sakura and Kakashi would have to fight Kaguya for a moment, until the ice would melt from Naruto's body heat. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all hit Kaguya at the same time, with Sasuke and Naruto using the Sun and Moon seal and now sealing her in this other dimension with a new moon being created. Naruto would turn to Sasuke, who had his Rinnegan awaken, asking how they're going to get home, as Sasuke would open a portal back to their world. Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura walking back through as Sasuke passes out on the ground, using all of his remaining chakra in order to bring them home. There is no Naruto versus Sasuke battle in this timeline, meaning that Naruto would get his arm back and Sasuke never loses his, with Sasuke and Naruto both being candidates to be Hokage, due to Sasuke never being a terrorist. Naruto would barely win out Sasuke, which would surprise him and make him feel self-conscious, even in his sunshine state, wondering why he wasn't as popular as he thought he was. Sasuke would laugh at this, saying he didn't want to be the Hokage anyway, as he looks out onto the horizon, saying he had a promise he made to Nagato. Sasuke would leave not for atonement, this time actually taking Sakura with him, as he said that he promised Konan and Nagato that he was going to fix the world in the cycle of hatred, saying that he was going to the land of rain to figure out what had been happening there. Wondering about the origin of the darkness within Nagato and Konan, Sasuke and Sakura would leave, seeing Naruto within the next few years. Naruto now is where things get interesting. I don't think this Naruto would actually like someone like Hinata, who's more on the shyer side, but especially the daytime version of Naruto due to how boisterous and prideful he is. Instead, I see Ino and Naruto being a really good pair in this timeline, with Ino being a more outspoken type of person, kind of more like a Gyaru, and I think Naruto would kind of reminisce with that. Either that or like Tamari, but I'm not doing that because Tamari and Shikamaru is like my favorite couple in Naruto, aside from Minato and Kushina. So I think I'm actually going to pair Ino with Naruto here, which is perfectly fine since their potential children would be able to inherit Sunshine, which is just so overpowered as a Kikagenkai in this one if that it doesn't even matter. I think Hinata would be heartbroken with her having loved a young Naruto, but I ultimately think it'd probably be better for her with her either ending up with Neji since he's not dead in this timeline, or potentially Sai. There are a few open threads left, one being that Itachi's secret was never revealed to Sasuke, and also that Danzo is still alive into Boruto, which is just really not something I enjoy. So for the sake of not leaving things open-ended, when Momoshiki attacks in Boruto, or I guess Inoto, or whatever we're gonna call the son or daughter of Ino and Naruto Uzumaki, Momoshiki would blast a Bijou Bomb type attack, instantly melting Danzo from a random occurrence. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps anything up. If you have any questions in the comment section, make sure to ask me and I'll try and respond. It can be anything related to the story going forward, what I think would come next, anything really. Thank you guys so much for watching this far, and if you enjoy, make sure to get excited because the next 2 full stories that are coming out will be What If Subaru was a Shadow Dragon Slayer's full story, and for you Naruto fans, the second one coming out will be What If Naruto was a Warlock, which is arguably, by the way, the best series on my entire channel. If you have not seen it, it is written with a ton of care and love and character writing. It is a masterpiece, a magnum opus of this channel. I highly recommend, if you love the original series Naruto, that you watch Warlock Naruto. I highly recommend it, especially if you've made it this far. That story is going to be a amazing full story. Like, you guys, you'll be eating good, okay? It's gonna be an underrated gem, I already know. Anyway, that's about it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Done it!